Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode, gang, of Wick TV. It's a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues, both political and cultural, silly, serious. Today, we have a very special guest, and we're doing a very special segment.
Is it?
Huh?
Oh, is it? Is it a very special segment? A very special guest?
Segment. Okay, very special guest and a very special segment. Okay, both special. I'll let you, the audience, decide what kind of special I mean. Okay.
I feel like there's connotations there.
Well, we're gonna get into it, I promise. But before we do that, why don't I have my very special guest introduce themselves in case you don't know who he is, and then we'll get into it, right? So go ahead, tell people who you are and what you do and why we should care.
Hi, I'm MahDryBread. I've been doing YouTube full-time for going on 16 years now. If you have ever seen me before, it would have been either I taught you how to play an obscure video game, you grew up listening to my Pokemon creepypasta readings, or you, what was it? The Pokemon challenges, and a few Bethesda challenges, but you may have found my Pokemon challenges when you were inundated with them on your timeline in 2019, 2020, and 2021. That or you watched me play Mario Party. It's one of those things. Those are like the most likely.
I actually went back and prepped for this, and I watched a couple of your challenge streams.
Okay.
I watched some of the big ones, right? The ones that got like 2 point whatever million views.
Yeah, the old ones, yeah.
Yes, and then I watched some of the lesser viewed ones, just kind of get to run the gamut of the style of things you do. And I'm gonna lead off with this. I am jealous. Okay, not of the views, no, but the fact that you get to live in a space that you don't have to deal with fuckery all the time, like constantly. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's definitely worse in politics YouTube.
It's so
like without it,
worse.
like I get people shitting on me every day, but like it's like, why did you do this dumb thing in Pokemon? That's so different than them thinking that you murder babies or something. I see people say people have the most vile opinions of you. I see it all the time on Twitter, and it's like, I don't know what you have done that has gotten people so angry, because I feel like it's disproportionate.
Well,
like,
so here's the deal. I don't want to get too much. Look, unfortunately, the timing of this, it's coming right off a period of time where I've kind of kicked the hornet's nest. Okay.
That's most periods of time.
Well, no, I mean, there's some times when people are kind of neutral towards me or something, but
okay.
There was an incident yesterday, and I put my finger in it, okay, and I wiggled it around in the sore spots, and so they're all very upset and very angry, and they've made their threats and their harassment known, but hopefully that won't impact tonight, because tonight, gang, we're being wholesome. We're doing wholesome content, and if you have issues with me, you can call on Monday. But today we're having MahDryBread. I guess so. Just a housekeeping thing. I posted the link to the Discord in the YouTube chat. I've pinned the link. So if you want to come and confront Mr. Drybread here, is it okay if I call you Mr. Drybread, or do you prefer Mr. Ma?
That's crazy. Just call me Madrat. That's my name.
Madrat? I'm Madrat.
You got it. And Madrat. And if you ever need a reminder on what my name is, literally just ask. I will never take offense to it. I understand that you've never met a Madrat and you never will meet another one. I've never met someone who's met a Madrat.
Look, I did not know that was your name. Look, you're speaking of doxing,
Ancient
right?
Welsh.
You're doxing yourself live on stream. Madrat. That's a fun name. Honestly.
My full name is public info. I've never hid it. I'm like one of those old YouTubers that, like, you know, everybody who knows Spoonie knows that he's Noah Antweiler. Apparently there's some new guy who goes by Spoonie. I don't know who that is. I mean, the old legend of old YouTube. Oh. Like, I'm from an era, everybody knows that the Nostalgia Critic is Doug Walker. You know?
Interesting.
These are names that people know from others.
It's not like that today. Everyone goes by
No, it's not like that
pseudonyms.
anymore. Everybody, Well, obviously, VTubers almost never have their real name out there. I understand that's kind of its own different thing, but like even just a lot of YouTubers now, everybody knows so many YouTubers' real names that were around from back then. You know, I never hid my name.
And now here we are, Droid.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Madropped.
Look, honestly, your screen name's MahDryBread. I'm probably gonna keep reading that. Just
You
for
can
habit.
keep
But it's
calling
okay.
me MahDry or MDB or something. That's what
Either
a
way.
lot of people call me because those are my nicknames from when I was like before I was YouTuber.
Sure.
That wasn't even my username. That was just a real life nickname.
We're learning all sorts of lore today. Okay, I did not know these things, and now I'm getting to know these things. And gang,
There's a lot of lore.
if you want to call in and talk to Madroid, you can. You click that link that I just pinned in chat. You accept the rules by clicking on my face emoji. They'll go to your rules page in the Discord, and you'll click on my face. Okay, it has a beard, longer than the one I got now. Okay, you click on that, and you'll see all the channels open up. There will be a channel at the top of the Discord called Backstage. You jump in there, and when we're ready, we'll pull you in, and you can take MahDryBread to task for his sins or whatever.
Yeah, come at me.
Maybe he rated your favorite Pokemon less than you thought it deserved. Maybe you think that he needs to suffer for that. I don't know. We're gonna find out tonight.
Yeah, come at me about how. Try and convince me that Ducklet doesn't look like shit in Gen 5. Looks great in every other game. Gen 5, what the fuck? I don't know how they did such a bad job.
So you've been doing this for how long then? I'm just curious.
Okay, so if we're talking about online videos in general, I started doing those in... It would have been like 2006, like YouTube just came out, but like I wasn't on YouTube yet. I was watching YouTube, but like so when I was 14, which I think was like 2006, I was born in 92. I don't know. You know the rules. Don't do like head math on stream. You'll always get it wrong. So I was born in 92. When I was 14, my high school had a tech rotation thing as one of the classes where, you know, you do like, I think it's like 6 weeks or something, 4 or 6 weeks of like botany and then like a computer class, woodworking, auto body, welding, stuff like that. And one of the courses was Comtech, communications technology. And it was just, we had a bunch of camcorders and the teacher used to work in film. And so we're learning how to edit video on Adobe Premiere Elements 7 is what we used at the time. I already liked YouTube videos and stuff like that. And obviously I grew up loving gaming.
Did you have an inspiration? Like, was there anyone specific you were watching that you were like, damn, I wish I was this guy?
Not yet. That happened by the end of high school. So for the majority of my time editing in high school, it was student film, home film type stuff, like with friends. We have the camcorder. Let's film some stuff, let's edit some stuff. And it was actually based mostly in school and in learning, but I obviously had an interest in it to the point that like on my lunch breaks, when I was later on in the years in high school, the teacher wasn't there anymore, Mr. Zablocki. I think he was having health issues. He wasn't around anymore. We had some people who would substitute, and I would come into my lunch breaks to help them because they didn't know how to edit with Premiere. And I had been doing it for 4 years at that point. So I'd spend my lunch breaks on my laptop playing Counter-Strike in the back of the computer lab, and most of the students would be playing Counter-Strike with me as well, because most students in Comtech don't do the assignments, they just play Counter-Strike.
Look, I remember being in the computer classes. I'm a little older than you, about 10 years older, I would say. But
I'm 33.
Okay, yeah, I was close. I'm 42, so about 9 years older. I remember being in those comm classes. It was typing class, and then we had computer programming class, and that was just us playing video games.
Yeah.
So I get you. I understand.
The teacher was okay with it.
I remember it. Yeah.
Mr. Zablocki had an understanding that a lot of people do this just for tech rotation. A lot of people don't have a long-term interest, and so he didn't really care if you didn't do the work. It's just he was there as a resource for if you wanted to do the work. And so, only grade 9s did the tech rotation. After that, you choose Comtech, and I chose Comtech every year. Loved it. By By
Are you,
like
Marshall?
my last,
I
I think it
am.
was my last year in high school. I was 17, turning 18. I was watching a lot of Let's Plays at the time, and this was like generation one of Let's Players when it comes to video Let's Players. Where I'm talking Slow Beef is still around, who created the video Let's Play. I was watching a lot of Deceased Crab. He was the main Let's Player that I was watching in those days, and he was literally a Gen 1 video Let's Player. He's from the Something Awful forum, which is where the Let's Play was created. I watched a lot of him. I watched other people as well. Proton John is also from the same forum, from the same era. He's still around. And Chugga Conroy is actually from the same group.
And so,
not like literally same
yeah,
friend group,
yeah.
but same forum.
So you were in this class, and you were doing the editing and helping all these things. What kind of videos were you making at the time?
In class, it was
just in that time frame, because you remember, or I remember you said that it wasn't video game stuff yet. What were you doing?
Yeah, no, it was mostly stuff that wasn't put online. It was a lot of it was like practice goofing around, little 5-minute sketches, stuff like that. None of that is online. What was online for a time was, I don't remember the name of it anymore, but it was my senior year exam for Comtech. Was you make like a short, like 20-minute film. And so you pair up in a group, and I had some friends in there who were really into film. Like they went on, some of them went on to film school because they had like a real long-term interest in it.
Okay.
And I paired up with them. Thankfully, I was with I think his name was Devin. Was a guy who was like a good friend of mine at the time, who he went on to film school. He was weird, kind of dark, clearly kind of disturbed dude.
Kind of dark?
But he was also...
What do you mean dark? Like, what are we talking about?
Devin, if you ever watch this one day, I didn't always genuinely like you, but you know exactly what I'm talking about when you seemed a little bit disturbed.
You know what?
I spent a lot of time with him. I like him.
Here. Like, go ahead.
Genuinely liked him a lot. However, I do believe that there's mental health problems that ran in his family, and it seemed quite likely that he had it as well.
You know, I bet
emotional.
I bet he
control
still watches
issue,
streams. I bet he's in some of these communities right now.
I don't know. Oh my god, I just remembered his full name. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to put that out there, but like, it's coming back to me. No, I actually do think he's genuinely. He seemed like a really good guy. I don't know, but like, I don't know all the details. Anyway, learned a lot with him, because he liked watching a lot of movies as well. I was really big into movies when I was in high school. Not so much anymore. But, you know, we'd have like movie night at his place where we'd get together a bunch of friends from school, and we'd stay up, and he had like a little home theater kind of set up in his basement, and we'd watch like a bunch of movies. We'd all bring like a movie or two, and we'd bring like the stupidest, obscure shit. We had a night where I brought like Dolomite, which is one of those old blaxploitation kung fu films. It's what Black Dynamite was a parody of.
Nice.
And it was fucking hilarious. Like, to this day, I was like 16 when I watched that. I still remember to this day, it's the only movie where, you know, there's movies that are low budget that I've watched where you can see the boom mic and shot.
Yeah.
It's the only movie I've ever seen where not only is the boom mic basically like one of the main cast, you see it so often, I saw the whole boom mic operator to the point that I could pick him out in a police lineup. Like, damn. I can tell you to this day, the boom mic operator for the scene where they're in the parking lot outside and the police are like shaking down Dolomite. It's a white, bald guy who's clean shaven with sunglasses. Like, this was in theaters.
Look,
so
we
watch a bunch of like red brown movies, you know.
Yeah, if you're watching this, just remember, no matter how bad you are at production, if your movie can be made, someone will watch it. Okay,
it was legit an influential film.
It might be some other obscure YouTuber that might watch it and pull it up.
Yeah,
but don't let your lack of technical expertise get in the way of your dreams. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Dolomite is, on a technical level, a terrible movie, but it's unbelievably fun to watch with friends. And my understanding is it was a very influential movie at the time. But we watched a lot of stuff. We watched Cannibal Holocaust. That was a crazy one. spent most of the time making finger gun, laser gun noises with the soundtrack. I don't know why, but whenever something fucked up was happening, the soundtrack was all pew pew.
Nice.
I don't know, Italian movies.
It is
So we
wonderful.
just kept doing finger guns at each other, and they're like on screen ripping a turtle apart or whatever. Like that movie was horrible.
Damn.
No, that movie was fucked up. That was a Devon movie.
Okay, I see what you say about Dark.
There's a scene where there's an actual real giant turtle being ripped to pieces. Like,
and this is how he decided to become a streamer. Okay.
no. So if we like fast forward to like, okay, so I'm 17, I'm turning 18. I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays for like a year. I decided, I know how to do this now, like to some degree. Like I have a laptop that works enough, and I had like one of those Logitech stick mics, those total pieces of trash that were common back then. I had one of those, and I'm like, I'm gonna start doing some Let's Plays, and that was terrible at first. But I started with I was like 17, and I started with a full playthrough of Fallout 1, because I had already beaten that game several times. I thought that's one I have a lot to talk about, and I can beat it pretty fast. So I did that. I did the cardinal sin of shouting out a whole bunch of the channels that I really like in my first Let's Play, which it wasn't a cardinal sin at the time.
Well,
I think I'm the first guy to start
kind of the ground floor of all this, right? Like
I'm like a Gen 2 Let's Player. I'm the generation that was inspired by the first people to come out of something awful. So I'm a Gen 2 Let's Player in that way. I predate like the PewDiePies and stuff. That was more like Gen 3.
Gotcha.
I predate like Game Grumps. That was Gen 4. There's the Let's Play game goes deep. I'm an OG, not quite OG. I'm close to an OG Let's Player. I kind of am an OG internet
like,
video
honestly.
guy.
Huh?
Like, sorry, I just remembered a loose thread I didn't answer before. When I said that like some of the stuff was online, what it was my exam for my senior year in Comtech was a short 20-minute film with Devon and some other people. None of these people are online content creators or anything, so none of the audience would know them. Just people I knew from high school.
No, that's fine.
I know a guy. One of the guys, his last name was Towers, and he was like 6'8", which is just funny. There's a lot of jokes about that. Anyway, so our plan was slasher film. It was slasher film with cheesy cop drama, and it was very fun. Devin was the cop. I think Towers was the chief of police. We put some cheesy lines in, I don't remember what the fuck the cop's name was, like Blood Wolf or some stupid shit. You're loose cannon, Blood Wolf, but make sure not to fire on friends. Some shit like that. Like a lot of cheese stuff. I was the slasher. We found when we were scavenging for
give
stuff.
Slasher vibes. Okay.
Thank you.
Right, because and the reason I'm saying that is because you're like, I haven't known you very long. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't talked for very long. We've talked a little bit.
Sure.
You give very like wholesome, kind of friendly kind of vibes, and that's exactly what a successful serial killer would give off, right? Because no one would suspect you, right? You could have killed like 20 young women, and we would never suspect that. No one would ever know. Right? Because you're just so wholesome and so nice. He's just a nice Pokese tuber, right?
You'll never catch me.
Right? That'd be crazy. It's a perfect cover. Man. Perfect cover. Okay, but go on.
No, I've always been edgy.
What's edgy? Okay, edgy, right?
You don't watch the Let's Plays. You don't know.
I haven't watched a lot of them. I'm going to be real, right? But I don't look
exactly.
For me, I knew Let's Plays existed. But I never really watched YouTube before I started coming on and yapping, right? I would listen to music on YouTube sometimes, and I would watch some YouTube, right? Like I'd see some games every once in a while be played and things like that, but I never really got into the scene. I grew up and got into games and was playing before YouTube, right? So I was already addicted to games like when I was like 12, okay? 10. I didn't need all the YouTube Let's Plays and guides and all that. I kind of understood the ways that these things were done. And I don't know. I would see a game and see someone playing it, and if it was a good game, I would turn it off, go buy the game, and play the game. If it
a lot of people are like that.
Bad game, I would simply turn it off right? I'd be like, I don't want to watch a
Yeah.
bad game. So I don't know. It's just if I saw someone playing a game that I thought was cool, I'd watch maybe 10, 20 minutes, and that would be it, right? Then I'd be either getting the game or turning it off. One of the two.
See, and obviously there's a lot of people who are like you with that. That's actually why there's a big audience for no commentary playthroughs, which nowadays are called long plays. You can look up long play and then
Okay, what is that?
search a game. And so a long play is a no commentary full playthrough of a video game. These are very common to find with like NES games, SNES games, but there's even with modern games, people make long plays. It's a no commentary full playthrough where it's not like a speed run where they're trying to beat it literally as fast as possible. It's also not usually a 100% completely comprehensive thing, but literally it's someone plays through a whole game, there's no microphone, and the purpose of it, beyond if you just have like a passing interest in it, I guess, is anyone could click this and just be like, oh, I've heard of that game, what is that game? You could click it, and you could just skip to any random time code and see like 10 minutes of just, so what is this game about? And there's no commentary, there's no personality or anything like that. If you're looking for like B-roll footage, let's say you're another YouTuber and you're like, I need B-roll footage of this old random game. A lot of these long play channels are perfectly okay with you taking the footage and then crediting them. So like it plays so many purposes, but like people like you who you might just be looking up a gameplay because you literally want to know, oh, is this something I want to buy? You can look up a long play and you don't need to worry about,
I'd
what
never
is
heard
the
of that.
fucking lore of this channel?
that's a
Like, what
problem.
is their comedy routine? Because, like, I do my comedy routines, but I also teach people the games for the most part. But, like, a lot of people watch me when it comes to my Let's Plays, which are obviously not my most viewed thing. It's my most common thing. I've done over 6,000 Let's Play videos. I did a video a day minimum for 10 years.
6,000?
Well, yeah. Okay, do you know about the
6,000.
10-year thing?
Yes, I knew about that, right?
Yeah, I did a
game.
video a day minimum for 10 years. It started as an accident. I didn't realize I was doing it till over a year in.
So wait, 306. You didn't realize what you were doing until 365 videos in.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you
I didn't
caught
realize
on.
it was daily because it was a thing of like I would have just finished high school. I was sending out applications and trying to find work. I was poor as shit, so post-secondary was not going to happen. Home life was not stable at all at the time. So it was just a thing of like, okay, I already have a computer. I like doing this YouTube thing, which I at that point I was a little bit into that. And like it wasn't making money yet. This was like I started before you could even when you explicitly could not get paid by YouTube doing gaming stuff on YouTube. And then shortly after I started, they made it so MCNs could pay you through gaming stuff, but it was still a while before YouTube would directly do it. Anyway, so my idea was like, if I ever were to get big and make a living off that, that's cool, but like I'm sending out applications. Now, disabled, I don't really talk about that on the show because it's not really relevant, but I am. And my body was in much worse shape back then. So I couldn't stand for very long. So it was limited in what I could do. I was going to a local, I was in Hamilton at the time, Ontario, Canada. I got to be specific. Sorry, all these names, Hamilton and Ontario, are both in the United States as well. Anyway, so there was like a job center in my city that was like a 10-minute walk away that specialized in people who have disabilities but can still work, but they're not, the idea is like you can still work but people don't hire you because there's a disability on there. And you can prove, and they can easily prove and pitch to people like, hey, this isn't going to affect the guy's job. He's good.
Yep.
I went there and I mean, technically, I guess I'm still on record there, but they only ever found me one job opportunity. It was a Pizza Hut minimum wage from like a city over. And it would have me on my feet all day, which I was not capable of at the time. So it's like, I can't reasonably take that. So what I was doing was while I was looking for jobs, I was just doing a whole lot of YouTube. And then I was close to 2 years into YouTube, I think. Someone had pointed out to me that like I upload a lot because I'd like just bulk upload Let's Plays and edit them and stuff. And like they're like, is it daily? Like, what's your schedule? And I said, I don't really have a schedule. I wake up and I record like a whole bunch and I render it out and then I just kind of like start uploading them day by day. Like you could schedule them to like, you know,
Sure,
each day.
sure.
It's like, oh, I have like 7 episodes, I'll have them go for 7 days. And I would just keep doing that, and I didn't realize I wasn't missing days until over a year in. So I had to go back and try and figure out, when did this start? What was the last day I missed? And what I think I found was like March 2010. Sometime in March 2010 was the last time I had missed a day. And so I was like, I guess I'm just going to keep the streak going because it's easy right now. And after like 2 years and not finding a job, I'm like, I'm already starting to make like, it's not minimum wage, but like it's not super far off. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going in all in on this. Fuck the job applications. I'm not
Sure,
getting
sure.
anything. And so I just never stopped.
And here we are.
When I was 9.5 years into the daily videos, a random side video of a Pokemon challenge I made blew up. And I had already made like 2 others at the time, so I had like 3 of them up. And it's just something I was doing for fun. And then they started to blow up like really, really big.
Well, that
I went,
that was a question I had, right? Like,
yeah.
as you were going, so you're doing these daily uploads. When did you notice like people start to kind of really grow? You mentioned just now 9.5 years in, so you were doing
Yep.
it for 9.5 years. What was your? Do you remember like
Well,
what like your viewership, your sub count was? That shit.
yeah.
I'm just really curious.
So 9.5 years into
before the
video
blow
a
up
day
I'm
is when
talking about, like-
when I blew up, of course.
Yeah.
Leading up to that, it was a slow growth over all those years. There were definitely like periods of time where I grew a little bit more and periods of time where I grew a little bit less.
Sure.
Because I had a few small blow-ups before that, but nothing on the caliber of the Pokemon Challenge one. So, you know, start off small time Let's Player. I'm getting a few views per video early on. Like we're talking really early days, like 10 views a video, sometimes less. All the way until I was several months, probably close to a year in, is when I hit 100 subscribers. It is worth pointing out too, when I blew up, that was 9.5 years into daily videos. I don't start my daily video count until like probably close to a year into doing Let's Plays on YouTube.
Yeah, quite a while of just grinding it out.
Yeah, so like when I blew up, I was doing YouTube for over 10 years, but it was a video a day minimum for 9.5. And so I had very few subscribers. I would slowly build up over years, where what would happen is occasionally when I play a random game I'm interested in, like Fable the Lost Chapters or Knights of Honor, those were kind of niche-ish games where the people who are into them are very hardcore about it. And over years, my video floated to the top result for, if you search Knights of Honor gameplay or Terraria gameplay or Fable the Lost Chapters gameplay. I had the top spot in English for, if you search those terms, for a long time. Like for Fable, by fluke, I was the top result for Fable the Lost Chapters gameplay for like 7 years.
Damn.
That was big for me. And it brought me to like, between my income and my then wife's income, we were like just below the poverty line. Like we were making it. That was after, like, you know, I had a few small blow-ups, right? Because that's all the way when I was like 24 or something. I started this when I was 17. So like I'm doing all these videos, I'm getting less than 100 views. And then like a few years in, I start doing Pokemon creepypasta streams, like video game creepypasta streams, but it was usually Pokemon, just because it's what there was. And those started to blow up on the side. I don't really remember the view count super well, and a lot of them have inflated over the years because a lot of people grew up on those. And so they go back and they listen to them, and they always say, when you bring them back, and I'm like, I sucked so bad at those. but like, it's nostalgic to some people because it was so long ago, you know? That was like a decade ago. That was more than a decade ago. Anyway, so those blew up. They weren't big, but that was getting me past like a few thousand subscribers or something. But I stopped doing them after a couple years because I wasn't having fun with them anymore.
Fair.
And it was the biggest thing on my channel, but I was always willing to give up something that got views if I wasn't having fun anymore.
No, that's
the only thing.
Yeah, I get
Yeah, and like the one thing that's really consistently fun for the longest time is Let's Plays. So it was like by far the most abundant thing is Let's Plays, sometimes solo, usually with my friends, a lot of streaming. I was streaming since before Twitch TV was around. I was on like Justin TV and Ustream.
Yeah.
I streamed with Adobe Live Flash encoder, which is a terrible piece of software, but is what existed. You know, I remember back in the days before OBS existed, I was recording on Fraps. I was recording on DxTory. I was recording on Marillus Action. I was trying all these paid programs, and like they all were terrible in their own way, but you could learn to work with them. I had to learn how codexes work and how re-encoding works and all the shit to fix these file formats, all the technical shit, because it was hard back then. Nowadays, it's so much easier, thankfully, because OBS is just fantastic software. As soon as, like, literally, as soon as it came out, it was already blowing XSplit out of the water. And then, like, a year after it came out, when they made OBS Studio, which is just OBS now, that completely eclipsed all video game recording software that existed. To this day, nothing is better than that. There's no point in buying the paid programs. I've tried them all. OBS just dominated. Anyway, after years of this, like right before my blow up, for instance, I was sitting at, I want to say it was 55 or 60,000 subscribers. So I had built up quite a bit over the years.
That's a decent amount, right? Like,
my average Let's Play video, it depended on the game. Like a few hundred views to like 1,000 in like the first week that they come out, and depending on like if it's the first episode of a series, it'll do better. If it's like Payday 2, it would do a lot better because I was very Payday 2 centric for a while when that game came out, because I was a fan of Payday 1. Payday 2 came out, it was the hot thing. I was really into it for a good few years. I still love Payday. I love that game a lot. Okay. It's a co-op first-person bank heist game. It's really fun. So great time playing that with my friends. I always like going back to that. So a lot of people knew me from the Payday 2 community. A lot of people know me from Creepypasta community. People just knew me from random little bits, or like when people recognize me in the comments section on YouTube, they would say, "Oh, hey, dude, I learned how to play Hitman Blood Money because of you. Thank you." Something like that. Because I did a bunch of the Hitman games. Nice. I love the Hitman games.
You sound like honestly, because the people I talk to in this space, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of them know who you are, right? They may not.
They do.
Yeah, they may not have ever.
In politics.
Yes. I was just talking to.
That's fucking crazy.
I was talking to some. Well, I won't share names, right? I was talking to someone last night, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have this PokeTuber on tomorrow, right? And I was talking about what we were gonna talk about and things like that. And are you talking about MDB? I'm like, yeah. Oh, I grew up watching his Pokemon streams. And
well, I wasn't like a Pokemon streamer when they were growing up. Would they probably mean to some of my Pokemon Let's Plays I did a few?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, if you want to talk about Pokemon challenges and who originated what, I don't think there's any one person you can point at. People have been doing challenges in video games since I was a little kid before YouTube. But if you want to talk about the whole Pokemon challenge format on YouTube, I'm not the original, probably, but I'm one of, because my Pokemon Blue with only Poison type full playthrough that I did on YouTube was like 14 years ago. I predate the other Pokemon challenge dudes on YouTube by like 9 years.
You set the standard, man. You may not have been the first, but you coined it, at least from what I can tell. I'm no expert at this.
In the modern Pokemon challenge format is... a lot of it is based heavily off me, but not entirely, because I wasn't the first guy to do it in this modern format either. I was like the third. But I did my own spin on it. I always do my own thing. And then a lot of people came and they directly told me they were inspired by me, but you can see it in the videos. They will do things like they will do the intro the same way. They will do their own variation of what I call the fossil gag, which is an in-joke with me on my community. And they'll do their own version of it as an in-joke to signal, like, shout out StamDB. I have my friend now, Willow. I literally watched his channel once, and I saw like this striped background of black and teal, like my gold background that I have on my challenges, and I just felt how he formatted it, and I watched through and everything. It was really good. He did such a good job on this Fallout one. I just let him know. I'm like, wow, it's really surreal watching this and seeing the influence that I had on this. Thank you so much for this. You did a really fantastic job. We ended up becoming friends, and he's like, yeah, I did this because of you. I've had so many YouTubers now who are way bigger than me who come to me and they say, I learned how to edit my videos because when you blow up on Pokemon challenges, the first thing you did was a playlist called How I Do What I Do. And it was beginning to end. I show you every single step of how I do a Pokemon challenge. The recording, the scripting, the editing, everything. I gave all the programs, I gave all the advice. I told you how to do it for free. And I said, go do this and go make some money. And then people did. And then I've had so many people come back and thank me for that and saying, I have a living because you taught me. I say, thank you, pay it forward.
How does that make you, like,
I'm
how
really
does that
proud
make
of
you
that.
feel?
Like, it really means the world to me because, like, that, when I blew up on Pokemon challenges, it got me from below the poverty line to taking care of my mom. And that was something that, like, no one did before. My dad didn't do that. Her parents didn't do that. I got to take care of her because she took care of me when it was hard. I was hard to take care of growing up. Disabilities and autism and, like, there struggles with my family and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it was not easy. I loved her, she loved
We-
me. But, like, I understand
Yeah.
that I required a lot more therapy and shit, going
Sure.
like physical therapy than your average kid. She had to go to bat for me at every school I went to because they would read cerebral palsy on a sheet of paper, and they would assume, even though my marks are all great, they would assume I'm nonverbal and I need to go to the center for the kids that require assisted living.
Yes,
And I
yes.
didn't. She would go to bat for me every time and say, let me bring him into the principal's office and you can talk to him and realize that he's smart.
Mhm.
And I had so many struggles with school because of shit like that. All the way to high school, they were trying to do shit like that with me until I would get there and I would do well, and then they'd want to bump me up to the next level of courses, but I would have to go back and redo the ones from the previous grade because it's a requirement, because they fucked me over. And
Sucks.
it wouldn't even been that good if she didn't go to bat for me. I think it's pretty obvious to say that I talk for a living. I'm not nonverbal.
Yeah,
I was always a big
nonverbal is not a term I would use for you. We do have a
No,
caller.
I don't shut up.
though.
Oh my god, we actually have
We
a caller?
I don't know who
Sweet.
it is. I don't know what
Oh,
they
it's Jay
got.
Funky.
But let's
I like
bring
Jay
them on,
Funky.
gang. And remember, this is technically a versus the world, even though we recognize it's probably going to be cozy video game chat day.
Yeah,
But
come
yes, we're going to
fight
bring
me,
them on.
bitch.
We're going to see what they got to say. I'm very curious. Hello?
I don't know if it's much of a fight, but I think I have a really good, interesting topic. So,
Okay.
MDV, this is going to be video games, and it's going to be a little pinch of politics. So,
Okay.
it's going to be one of those fun things. So, once again, the Gamergate fires are getting stirred right now because of Anita Sarkeesian's involvement in something, and it's got me thinking.
Are they?
It's yes.
I legit didn't know.
I know. You live under a little maple leaf. I know.
Yeah.
But something genuinely interesting topic wise. What really does now that we've had 10 years to think about the topic, what really does actually make good representation for women in gaming? Because I know it's not whatever AAA bullshit they're trying to pull still to this day with Anita Sarkeesian. Apparently she's even in like some UN paperwork that even like the People's Republic of China has quoted now. So like, and they use it to justify their censorship, which is crazy. I'd have to look that one up. Someone could feel free to fact check on that. I just heard that one from a friend, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, women being written well is a good thing, but it's like, how do we do that? And how do we navigate that in the absolute minefield that we have right now with all this, just for lack of a better word, slop?
Go ahead.
Well,
Answer the question.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to mull that over a lot and probably just discuss
it's a
what the fuck do
good
we even do.
question.
Can I?
It's
Well,
a good question,
on,
isn't it?
Yeah. On a related note, just maybe to get your to kickstart the your thought process here. What were like? So you were a YouTube gaming streamer during Gamergate.
Yeah,
Did
that's why I was
you-
thinking about this.
Did you
And Let's Player, yeah.
deal with any of that? What was your takes on that? Like, how was it being in the trenches during that time as a
I think
YouTuber?
That's a really good question. Okay, so I actually remember Gamergate very well. I was tuned into that stuff at the time. I was paying pretty close attention to like what what the two sides were saying. It was more than two sides, but you know what I mean. I was paying close attention to a lot of that stuff. I was following some YouTubers who talk about it, but more than anything, it was just kind of my firsthand experience with I guess I'll say the offenders. Like for instance,
The
feminist
offenders.
frequency.
What are the offenders? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, Anita Sarkeesian. So to give a little bit of context to people who weren't around at the time, one of the biggest figures in the early events of what we now call Gamergate. It was called that at the time, but like things kind of started before it was called Gamergate. Me growing up big into video games, obviously I knew all about IGN and GameSpot and all these different review websites for games, and I'd followed them for years, but it was also just an open thing that like legit every gamer that I knew, myself included, just openly knew to the point of it being a casual joke that these review sites were really corrupt, that they took money to do good, to give good publicity to games and everything, that you can't really trust the rating systems on a lot of these sites, but especially not IGN. There's a running joke that IGN doesn't rate anything lower than a 7. Like, that 7 is the average on IGN. Like, no, these websites were already complete jokes. Gaming journalism was already kind of a complete joke at that point. So it wasn't all that shocking when stuff came out like how Zoe Quinn was not disclosing, or rather someone that Zoe Quinn was in a relationship with was not disclosing that they're like writing about her games and stuff in the articles. Like, this is the stuff that we all already knew was happening. This was just like a really obvious, funny example of it. And the internet made fun of it the same way that they make fun of all those kinds of things. When it comes to like Anita Sarkeesian though, and why people got so bent out of shape about her, it's like, okay, did you watch Feminist Frequency? It wasn't okay, the reason people hated her wasn't necessarily that she was like stereotypical stuck-up feminist. She kind of was, but like, you could have any number of annoying traits and they'll make fun of you for it. What was the reason that they actually had an issue with you? That show had no idea what it was talking about when it would talk about the games. I distinctly remember they did a review of Hitman Absolution. I'm a big Hitman fan. They did a review of Hitman Absolution in which she's literally saying the words, you can like kill women, you can kill the strippers and then drag them around and the game rewards you for this. As she's saying the words, the game rewards you for this. Agent 47 kills a stripper, and then in the top right corner where the score is displayed, it goes way down. That was every episode. I
remember that.
Was every episode of Feminist Frequency is just it's just bullshit. Like, they didn't play the game. They did not play the game. And it was confirmed later that, yes, Anita did not play any of the games. The show wasn't even written by her. It was written by her boyfriend. Like,
I was unfortunately very employed at the time. And so I admit, I wasn't on Twitter. I wasn't on any of the social medias. Obviously, I played games online, right? But I was, I didn't hear about any of this until years later after the fact. The actual, you know what? The only exposure I had to it, and this is going to be weird, watching dev videos on occasion.
There we go. I was wondering when we were going to tie it back to the fat man.
Watch a dev video, and he would talk about it. I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. And then I would just do my normal thing, probably go back and
go have a
work
life
on the plane that I was assigned, right? All these things, right? But I didn't know any of the drama. I didn't know how deep it ran. I was just like, "Damn, that's crazy!" And then that was my
the Five Guys and the burgers and fries. Yes,
something like that. Anyway,
no. With Zoe Quinn, it was Five Guys. It wasn't just one. It was 5.
Damn,
that's the joke. Yeah, there's a massive document. God.
Yeah, but the other thing too, to your question, right? Like, to your question, do you see it coming back? Right? Anything like that?
I don't think it's that severe. There's a lot of, thankfully, changing market trends where people are voting with their wallet and they're saying, no, we don't want this crap. Like, there's definitely that, but there's still people like Anita still in the background. Like, the great big creature of pushing my politics, or my politics, my quotation mark of the person into
Yeah.
every property possible. That's starting to like wither. I think we'll see the death of it in the next 10 years, probably, just because of really bad projects and people just seeing through it now. And it's there's no hysteria about it anymore. Some people try to make hysteria of the woke slop. Like someone was trying to make that comment about Forza, and I was like, the character creator's always been mediocre at best. To do goofy shit with it. Why are we complaining about the he, her, they, them thing again? Why are we here again? No one cares. It's a sandbox game. No one cares. You can make a dude in a dress with she, her pronouns. Like, you can do that. You can be as insensitive as possible with it. No one cares. But yeah.
Last question, and we got a
Yes.
bit of a line.
Yes,
right?
go ahead. Yes.
No,
You actually
it's
have a
last
line
question
now.
From you. You're the guest.
Last question for me.
You're the
Oh,
caller.
last question for
the
me.
guest, so.
Okay.
Last question
Right,
of
well-
MahDryBread, and then we'll move on.
Yes. Okay. I guess the last thing is to kind of loop back around to the front is like, we're all just going like, well, we should throw all of this, the feminism and the wokeness out. And it's like, I know everyone's like, oh, we should replace it with the old fashioned. I'm like, I don't really think that's the right direction either. It's like, we need to have a real discussion and people are going to have to just create stuff. Like, I know Motor Slice is a pretty good direction for where do we go in the future with games as far as like decently positive representation of women, other than that couple of the weird moments where the robot simps for her. But you know, it's like, where do you think it should go from here? Like, should it just be sound right? And I know sound writing and everyone's creative choices, but when people are wanting to write female characters and things like that and actually be, I don't want to say progressive, but they want to write a different story. Like, where do we go from here now?
I'm a little lost on the question.
I know it's a big question. It's pretty deep. I know. I'm still having trouble putting it together.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure I understand what I'm being asked. I'm gonna be honest.
What I'm
are you
saying
asking me,
is,
like,
okay. So the big Leviathan of Anita Sarkeesian and the like, that's withering off and dying. And the question is that so that when the very subversive people of just put boobs in everything, it'll solve the problem. Like, that doesn't fix the problem. There's a hole now. There was a hole now that wasn't there before. Where there was competency, and that was filled in by the people trying to make, like Anita, like trying to make the slop and their politics and this, that, and the other. Like, what do we fill the hole with now? Because it's
my dick.
It's a big question.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
That's what we fill the hole with, boys. My dick. It is a big question. Yeah, it is. Okay, sorry, MahDryBread, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to steal that answer. But...
Hey, look. It might be a wide gap or small filler. There may be room for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, MahDryBread, handle it. Yeah.
I still don't think I what is this hole we're talking about?
You know what? Here, let me try.
Okay.
Let me try. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to change the question but I think I'm going to get at the directionally what you want.
I'll yell at you if you don't.
Yeah, that's fine. Give us your most woke gaming opinion, and then give us your most non-woke gaming opinion. Quickly. Lightning round, MahDryBread, no thinking. What's top of your head? Woke gaming opinion, non-woke gaming opinion.
I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know. You failed the test.
That's not a very good representation.
Yeah, are you wearing a shock collar?
Yeah.
I wish you were. I would shock you.
I don't
know.
Okay. You gotta like ask me like my opinion on something, and I can tell you, and you can tell me if it's woke or not. But I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, well that's as best you're gonna get. Thanks for calling in, Jay Funky.
Yes, it's okay. Me and MDB are gonna have a long conversation in DMs after this. I can feel it.
You will.
I can feel it. We'll get to the bottom of this. Yeah, peace out, my man.
See ya.
Well, confusion, has been cast upon the party. It was super effective.
I still don't. I still don't get exactly what the question was. Like, I understood what he was saying about like the trend of gaming and everything. That he was saying, that's getting put away. What's next? But I'm like, what's next in terms of what? Like, that's the part I'm not getting here. Like, I don't really get what the specific of the question is. What am I supposed to? I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. I have theories, but
yeah,
rather than explore them for the next 20 minutes. Let's bring on the next caller.
Sure.
How's that?
Yeah, I see we have a couple people backstage. I recognize one of them.
Hello, you're live.
Hey, what's
Hey, how's it
up?
going?
Wait.
You're live. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
What do you got for
Yeah, you're here.
MahDryBread?
Hey, man. I'm a little unfamiliar with you, but I've been listening
Okay.
to the conversation and I wanted to hop in. So,
Cool.
as a fellow autism bro who also can't shut
Mm.
up, I can relate. Okay, I also
Yes.
have that same problem.
Yeah.
I guess first what I want to do real quick is just kind of fix this other guy's question because I kind of had a similar question, but I think I can get
Okay.
to the point a little bit. So,
Sure.
back during all the Gamergate shit, like, as a guy who likes to play games myself, and anytime I'm given the opportunity to create a character, more than likely I'm going to make a chick with huge boobs, okay? That's just like, I'm one of those guys, okay? I don't mind playing a like over-sexualized character in a video game. But
Okay.
I think the point that he was trying to get to is like, it seems like there's a part of the internet that exists, like the Asmongold space, where like if you try to create a character that isn't that archetype, like I didn't play the Star Wars Outlaws game, okay? I didn't care for it. But regardless
the
of
one I'm
like how
thinking of?
good or bad that game would have been or was or whatever, it seems like there was a portion of the internet that was just going to hate it because it
Ooh.
wasn't like over sexualized. And so like
Yeah.
where's the line of like, where we can have like characters that like, you want to have like women that are sexualized or whatever, and then like how do we balance that with like characters that are like respectful and well thought out and well written and etc. I think that's what that guy's question was.
I'll just let the creators create what they want to create, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't think that it needs to be corralled into one kind of character design or another or whatever.
I won't rest until every Pokemon has big old titties. Okay.
Big
Yeah.
old knockers.
Every
Yeah.
single.
You know what?
one. Yeah.
You know what? I changed my stance. Wick won me over.
That is peak.
You're onto some. Can someone get Mr. Nintendo on the horn? We've got some ideas we want to share.
So for the next generation of Pokemon, we've explored the elements, but have we explored damn titties? I don't know. Let's go.
Look,
Yeah.
Miyamoto, all I'm saying is if you give them the titties and you gave them the big dick bulge, then we got the best of both worlds going on.
Yeah, no, I mean like I don't mind I loved fucking Stellar Blade. I thought that game was awesome, okay?
Okay.
Just going around as like a cyborg with giant tits fucking smacking alien motherfuckers around, that was awesome. But I do think that there is a problem where there is like this section a little bit that exists who tries to basically like anytime there's any level of like I guess what you would call like quote unquote like woke aspects to a video game, like it could be an amazing like game otherwise, but they're gonna even when the first trailer drops, they're gonna see that and they're gonna be like, what is this, a chick that's not like a 10 out of 10? Bleh, and they're just gonna immediately start shitting on that.
I see
fucking
those
game.
people on Twitter, yeah. I think it's stupid. Like at the end of the day, like I'm a gameplay guy more than anything. I can get really into a plot of a game. I can be into an art style of a game. I'm not really a graphics guy, as long as I like the art style, and I can play games that I think are ugly as shit, as long as I think the gameplay is fun. I
Sure,
play
yeah.
Dwarf Fortress. It's just ASCII art. But I don't know.
I
don't want to put you
know.
on the spot. I was just trying to clarify, I think, what that other guy's like question was.
Yeah, and I agree. I do think that's more or less what he was getting at. I think that first of all, just on because the topic keeps coming up is like, you play a character, big boobs, whatever. Some gamers like that, just like that. I think the reason that I don't have a super strong opinion on that, and I just say design what you want to design and fuck what people say, is characters with big boobs in video games doesn't do literally anything for me. I don't. If I'm create a character in a video game that I'm gonna play as, like either I have like an idea, I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of fun, like an orc, whatever. I don't know. It's almost always a guy. Almost always. If it's a game with like pre-created characters that you play as, then I don't really have a preference between playing as the guys or the girls. It's just like, what character am I interested in? Like, what class are they? If they play different, that's like a big thing. Is just how do they play different?
Okay, sure.
I don't look at a video game and then see big boobs and think, I like this game more because of the big boobs. Maybe it's I also don't get crushes on like
has there ever
celebrities on TV or anything like that though. So maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Has there ever been a game where the like sexuality of it, for lack of a better term, has turned you off the game? Where you've been like, okay, this is too much. I like the gameplay's great, but I'm like, what are we doing here, right? With the
Not that I can think of. Like, I don't know. It's just part of the game, you know. Like I was talking to you the other day a little bit about Fear and Hunger. That game is really dark and really sexually dark at points. Like one of the status inflictions. What am I looking for? Status conditions is anal bleeding. Wonder how you get that one. So I've played GTA and there's strip clubs and whatever. I don't know. It doesn't bother me and it doesn't really do anything for me. It's just it's a part of the game, and I take it as part of the neutral. I don't.
MDB is neutral on sexuality in games. Okay.
Yes.
I thought of a video game where the sexuality of the character turned me off.
Sure.
Lara Croft, PS1. Triangle boobs didn't do it for me. Couldn't get into it.
I mean, I'm fine with it because it's just the art style to me. I'm so not picky when it comes to that. When it comes to like art and games, older, like early people always point at early 3D games as looking really ugly. To me, it just doesn't look ugly. It doesn't look beautiful. It can actually, you know. I play like
there's a certain like appeal to the aesthetic. Like one of my favorite old school PS1 games that I would give a part of myself if they remade the old school Legend of Dragoons for the PS1. God, I fucking love that game.
I've heard really good things about it.
It's such a fantastic. I don't like. Again, I'm not like super familiar with your stuff. Like I kind of looked at your channel real quick, and it seems like you did like you said a lot of Pokemon and other stuff. But like if you're into RPGs, which like Pokemon, I guess in a way is kind of an RPG.
Pokemon's like the thing I'm most known for, but it's not my favorite game.
Yeah.
I love them, but not my favorite.
What's your favorite game?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Deadly Premonition.
Deadly Premonition. I don't know if I played that, but I've heard of it.
Okay, I have a huge soft spot for when I see a piece of art where it's very clearly someone's passion project, where no one was saying no, they're just doing what they want to do, and they're seeing through no matter how rough around the edges it is, that this is a pure representation of what the artist really wanted. Whether that be a YouTube video with no polish and all texture, whether that be a video game that is insanely fucking weird, just the delusions of a madman, whether it be a movie made by somebody who had to be in control of everything for it to come out exactly the way they had in their head, and whether they succeeded or not, it's something unique. I love that. And so Deadly Premonition has one of the best plots to a video game I've ever played in my life. It is one of the most just one of the best video games I've ever played, even though it's glitchy and the combat is terrible, and the whole first hour of the game just challenges you to stop playing. It's like it's front loading the game with all the worst parts, and then when you crack it open, you realize you have Twin Peaks in Animal Crossing. You have an incredibly well thought out murder mystery in which the characters never lie to you. There's a lot of murder mysteries in video games. The game has to lie to you at some point. You know, a character's internal monologue has to not give away something they should know, or a character has to be in a place for gameplay reasons that maybe doesn't make the most sense for the... No. You hypothetically could figure out who the killer is entirely through going around the city and figuring things out for yourself before you get to the point where the plot tells you in the main story.
Very cool.
And it was just a bargain bin budget title thrown out on the Xbox to die. But it was made by a Japanese guy who was incredibly passionate into American culture, into American media, into movies, and he poured all of his heart into this game. And it's a cult classic for that reason. Is like, you can tell every person who worked on this game really thought this was something special. Every voice actor is like, you could tell like they felt something for that character that they were portraying. Like I can't. It's a glitchy mess, and it's basically impossible to get running. And the Steam version, you need to mod the hell out of it to get it to run properly. Although it's still the best version. It got a director's cut that added cutscenes it absolutely did not need. It had a sequel eventually, which was pretty good, but not quite as good. But I still like it a lot. A sequel, prequel. But no, Deadly Premonition is just it's my favorite video game. It's so good.
Noted. That's a
Don't go play it unless you really, really want to. Like, you can watch. I did a Let's Play of it with my friend, a 100% playthrough. Did everything. I guess I don't see every last nook and cranny, but like there's technically there's a little more to explore. But I got a 100% completion, which is basically everything in that game.
sure.
And it's great because I'm experienced at it, but my friend What a Geek, who is in the call with me, he knew nothing about the game either than it was inspired by Twin Peaks. And you get to hear in real time him go from laughing at the game a little, not super interested in the game, having a lot of fun with certain goofy parts,
Yeah.
kind of half paying attention. You can hear him playing a little Pokemon in the background at a couple points early on because like a new Pokemon game just came out. He's a little interested. By the end of that Let's Play, he is so fucking emotionally wrapped up in it that like you can like hear the tension as he's like watching the cutscenes, and like the option pops up for like a big consequential moment. And he just blurts out what he wants me to do because he's so into it, and it's like
Hell
this is
yeah.
you get to watch my friend real time fall in love with this amazing video game and see why I think it's so special.
You're selling
And
it.
of course, we did the sequel together. Because
Yeah.
how could we not? As soon as we heard the sequel was coming out, after all these years, we're both immediately like, we're doing that.
Hell yeah. Honestly, I'm sold. I really am curious now.
Go watch the
Oh,
Let's
great.
Play.
I'll have to go check that
How
out.
long?
Last question, Mr. Word, and then we're gonna let you go, okay? Last
Yeah,
question for
100.
MahDryBread.
How long have you been streaming again? You said like what, 17 years?
YouTube for, I guess it's a little over 15 now. I've been streaming for about 13 and a half or 14. I don't know the date of my first stream, but it would have been on either Justin TV or Ustream. I kind of did both. It was SWAT 4 Sketchkov Syndicate.
Okay, I don't know where I got. Maybe I just pulled 17 out of my ass. I thought I heard 17 earlier, but I was just gonna ask,
not quite.
as somebody who is, I've been interested in maybe trying to stream for a while, but I like personally what I find is one of the most overwhelming things, and maybe this is my autism or something else. I find it very, very difficult to start because I have this I guess like pursuit of trying to have everything be perfect or something. You know, it's
I
like
knew
it's
you were
very
going to
it's a
say that.
very hard thing to start because I'm like, I want to make sure I have like the perfect camera and the perfect mic and the
Mhm.
perfect setup, and I want to have like all these
This-
ideas and the perfect. And so like I guess just what is your, as somebody who's been doing this for a while and you have a lot of experience, like what is your just general advice for people maybe like looking to get into content creation or starting streaming or something like that? I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of the time the answer is just like jump in and start it and be consistent. But you know,
Sure,
is there
yeah.
anything else that you would like to add to that?
There's something great I can add to that. I've talked about this often on my show. It's helped a lot of smaller streamers, a lot of smaller YouTubers and everything. They always tell me this is really helpful to them for their mindset, especially if they have this idea that they really want everything to be set up just perfect before they start. Is like, you can't, as much as you try to be perfect on all those things, the thing that you're lacking no matter what is experience, and you can't get experience by anything other than doing it. So that's why everyone's going to tell you just jump in, and they are right. I do agree with them. However, that doesn't address the mindset thing of like, but I still want to have these things right. I don't want to have these glaring issues or whatever. And for the most part, yeah, you don't want like really glaring audio issues in your first episode or whatever. Not that it matters in the long run, but you care. What I will say though is do not pursue perfection. It does you no good. Improving things to your own standard is obviously a good thing in most cases. However, people don't come to YouTube for polish. Polish is kind of boring. Polish, when something is really, really smooth, you think it feels really interesting and really cool the first time you touch it, and then you kind of forget about it because you get used to it and bored of it, and it never changes. So like you stopped noticing that your kitchen counter is really smooth a really long time ago. That was a novelty for a very short time for you. Your favorite mug in your kitchen is not the most perfectly shaped mug you have. It's the weird one. people like texture. People go to YouTube for you, which is texture. It's imperfections. When you watch my Pokemon challenges, you will see typos. You will see weird little quirks of editing because I'm entirely self-taught. And although I have a lot of experience with it, it just means I have a lot of experience doing it my way. And my way is a little bit weird. But you grow to love those things. You grow to love those quirks in those YouTubers you watch and the quirks in the show that they produce. The imperfections are what makes it special. Anyone can polish a video to the point that it becomes boring and bland, but what's going to make you come back is the texture of the person that you're actually watching and the passion they put into the show. When I make an edit and it's a little bit rough around the edges, those are the tool marks that you have on your whatever thing you have that tells you that someone worked on this by hand. Those are tool marks. This was not made in a factory. This was not an assembly line. So
Or
just
like
remember,
an AI crap out.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to be perfect. What's gonna make people like you as a streamer is being genuine, being authentic, and making something that is unabashedly yours, no matter how flawed. The flaws are a feature. You don't want something without flaws.
It's personality.
That's
Okay.
a
Well, hey, I
great.
appreciate you bringing me in, Wick, and I appreciate you. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah,
And
it was nice meeting you too.
yeah, thank you. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
Have a
Yeah,
wonderful
if you
day.
start streaming, good luck. You can always reach out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What a wholesome moment, and honestly, very well said. Very well said.
Thank you.
Great analogy.
I had a lot of practice talking about that. This is something that comes up often.
I guess we got more callers, so we're gonna keep bringing them in,
Yeah,
and then
we
we'll
got
kind of
we got Numer and Carl in there. I know them.
I see them. We'll get Carl
Yeah, I play.
first.
I was playing World of Warcraft Turtle WoW the other week with them.
Oh,
Hey, Carl, how's
I
it
meant
going?
to ask you about that. How was it overall?
Turtle WoW?
Yeah,
Do you mean how was the guild stuff or how was Turtle WoW in general?
both.
Okay, so in general, I've been playing it for years. I absolutely love Turtle WoW. Always a really fun time. My mom got me into it because she's a high-level WoW player. Great time. And then, we started the guild slightly over a month ago, I believe it was. It went like 4.5, 5 weeks. And Carl was there. I was there. A bunch of people from Dev's Discord were there. I think a couple other people joined it. Yeah, and Carl's. He had some people come in. And just a real fun time hanging out a lot with the rest of the gang, playing a lot of WoW. It was fun, trying out new stuff, trying out old stuff. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Carl. Floor's yours. What do you got from Mr. Bread here?
The circle back's finally happening to drive it, but no, on guild shit. See, I am completely new to WoW because I was a Korean MMO grinder. So for me, this entire experience with both MahDryBread and also the insular friend group of Dev, who I already knew, but we rarely got to do things because that's how it goes with influencers. Our only job is to show up, and sometimes schedules don't line up. But in this case, things aligned, and we all got things done. The experience overall is one of those transformative things that it's like a person's first time going to college. They try to make the system, design the system to try to get you to be interwoven. Everybody was doing their own thing. Me, I was just having fun with the mechanics of the system, and then trying to do my part to help Dev with the secret hush project he's working on. You'll all hear about it eventually in like 5 months. But
5 months, that's generous. I give it a year.
if he gets anywhere near both of our DMs.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyways, besides the dev packing, in general, we've all been fine. While doing this, I've been dealing with my own maladies with being a caregiver, because I'm a certified and licensed caregiver now. I did that within the last 4 months. Dealing with my mother's shit has been a thing, so for me, WoW was an escape and a release valve for it. And as for guild stuff, I could start saying slurs, but I could say for the most part, everybody was trying to have fun. The way that Dev wanted the way that Dev wanted the thing to be is that, and this is actually something that we had a conversation about, but I don't think MahDryBread was there for that conversation. So, the way that Dev sees content, air quote, the big bracket around everything that we're doing, what we're doing right now, you, I, him, MahDryBread, this is content. If we were to have a slur fight, we're not going to have a slur fight. That's also content.
Damn
want to
it.
challenge me in a slur fight, but go ahead.
Oh man, the
Alas!
gloves are off.
Alas, I have thick skin complexion, and I've been on the internet for 10 years. But the error events of like the event, the instance, the happenstance, and the regular everyday breathing, like you log into WoW and then you turn on a Wake stream and then you also turn on a Destiny stream in the background and you go back and forth between it, Stardust, Dev, any particular debate, and any other thing that you care about. That's your particular thing. That's what most people see as content. But for what Dev was doing, most people would call that a version of friend slop, but it's more like he wants to record and experience and relive the memories from his childhood. Because he, as he told us many times, would skip school when he was 15 and take time off to play the
He
game.
skipped a lot of school.
So for Dev, it's a walk down nostalgia lane. For most of the people in my audience and certain, let's call them Devcordians inside of Dev's audience, that was an opportunity for them to fuck around. We get to see the creator who never ever comes out of his creator cave. And we get to see and feel things from his perspective that people like myself and MahDryBread, we can pick up on and we can have conversations about them. For the rest of them, oh, Dev's online. Time to go raid and roll for loot that doesn't belong to our class. But then for people
There was a lot of that.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of that.
Oh, that would have
But,
look. I have a, and maybe this is why I don't play games with people too much. Like I'm not an MMO guy, right?
Yeah.
I have a low tolerance when I'm playing a game for bullshit. And what I mean by that is I know that a lot of people like to do crazy shit in games that they consider fun, but that aren't beneficial to what the game was designed to be, right? Like, so WoW is a good example. Rolling for loot that isn't yours just to be fucky with it. That would have infuriated me. I would have been like,
I was so lucky that I was borderline the only cloth user in the entire guild. There was like a couple others, but they weren't online much. So like anytime cloth came up, I pretty much had dibs on that.
Nice.
Whereas like if you were leather, holy fuck, like 80% of the guild was leather users. Poor Carl had to skin the entire barons 5 times over.
Let me live my rage, please. Okay.
Yeah,
so
no, he was the leather worker.
Here's how this happened, okay? He rolled cloth and enchantment. I, recognizing the need and never having played, but knew enough about it, because my sister was during the Felicia Day era of WoW. She was during the Night Elf Mohawk era of advertising. I learned partially part of this through her, and I play the MMO grinders. So for me, the comparative game for this is a game that's called Ron Online. That's where you can go up to like level 250 and you're running 1,000-man guilds, where the entire goal is that your alcoholic is designed to unlock the special ultimate class. So going from like 16-man raids, where what they call in Western games pulls, we call keys. There are classes designed literally hit 15 mobs in the zone, pull 100 enemies towards you, and now this guy needs to cast, and this guy needs to cast, and this guy needs to cast. Condense that down into, hey, this guy is the one who makes your armor. Tell him what you need. And Dev's just like, hey, Carl, here's a laundry list. And I'm like, okay, who's one are we working with? It's like, I'm the only leather worker. Because inside of WoW, you need to have professions. One profession is usually the funder, and the other one is the spender. So if you're using leatherworking, you have to be a skinner. And the mechanics of it is that you have to kill a creature that is valid to be skinned, and you have to level it up over time. So you start from the lowest level to the highest level, because if you do it when you start, then you're not going to have to backtrack and go through areas to re-level it. So as the only leather worker in the guild, guess who has to craft everybody's shit? Which means, guess who's the second highest level in the fucking guild, next to Dev, who ended level 50, only because he was grinding. Me.
Oh, well, he was, the last few days there, he was borderline poop socking it.
Yep.
He was really trying to get all the footage he could.
Gross. But I don't know, like, did you guys, overall, how was playing knowing that the time was finite, that you had a clock and it was counting down, and you would have, what, you had like 4 or 5 weeks in the game?
About 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
How did that change the experience for you? I'm just curious.
MahDryBread, do you want to answer first?
Sure. Kind of didn't. Like, obviously we all knew it and it was going to end. They announced the date for it before we got started. But like, I had already been playing Turtle WoW off and on for years. I'm not like a WoW lifer. I did play it when in earlier versions. I played from Burning Crusade to Cataclysm. But I was never like a guy who only played WoW or mostly played WoW or anything like that. I'm a big fan of the game, namely private servers of the old versions of the game. I don't like modern World of Warcraft.
Oh shit! Don't do it.
It sucks. Even Blizzard official servers for classic WoW suck because they're so boosted. You get crazy experience points. It's unreal. It's not
that's
not
a
fun.
question. And I
Yeah.
know this is semi-related, but it might tangent us a little, so forgive me. In what ways has gaming in general improved since you've been playing games? And in what ways has it gotten worse?
I got into playing games before I was like forming memories. I was 3 on the NES.
Sure.
My mom has memories of me playing video games that I don't have because I was too young. So I can't really judge how they've changed from when I was 3 because I don't really know.
From when you started realizing what games were that you were doing, like when you can remember when you first fell in love with games, right?
Okay.
Versus now, modern gaming. What are the changes that have been good, and what are the changes that have been less than good?
I like the online availability of a lot of games. You know, as someone who quite likes PC gaming, it wasn't always as easy before Steam to find the games you want online. A lot of ones they only sold it on disc, which was very inconvenient. And if it's out of print, it's out of print. You might have a hard time finding it unless you know how to pirate. I'd say availability is a really big one. It's so much easier to get games modded now too, which is very cool. Which can really extend the lifetime of a game. The modding scene for it. As for something bad, I don't know. I feel like maybe this is because I'm not super plugged in on AAA games. I never really have been. I play a lot of indie games and a lot of just smaller developers kind of stuff. But the modern AAA game scene just is wholly unappealing to me. It's so rare that there's a AAA game that lands on my radar, and I actually think, oh, I would play that. Like the only ones I can think of is like Resident Evil games because those are really big, and I'm a big fan of Resident Evil. But like, I don't know. I can't think of. I don't even know what other AAA games are. I hear they come up, and then I'm not interested, and then I forget about them.
Mm-hmm. My answer is different, and I want to answer both those questions you asked. So,
Sure.
On the experience of knowing the time in Turtle WoW is finite, I've both hosted, developed, and ran and been a part of several teams and translation teams of different games across the PAL region translation for China, Japan, and Korea. And for me, from when I started gaming, I was in diapers learning how to put a computer together to fix up a MacBook, or a fucking Mac 2, and then switching over to Windows 95 when my father was a naval officer of 20 years of service going between military bases. And the experience is very similar to how I grew up through gaming, because I can actually go, because he DM'd me just now, Jay Funky. I can actually context what he was trying to say based on the prompt he gave me, but I'll get there. We'll circle back to that in a second. Gaming used to have... There was a point in your life where the last time you played your favorite game, you didn't realize was the last time you played your favorite game. And then you stumble back into it again, and you fall back in love with the mind state that you were in when you were doing it. And you also remember the feelings that it evokes in you, like smelling a smell that you've only had the scent of from your childhood or from when things got to here. And here is wherever you currently are in your life. So, the guy before said that his favorite game is Legends of Dragoon. It is one of my top 10, if not my number one top JRPGs, because it's a 300-hour JRPG between 4 discs. You will find many games in the market like it, but you will remember the first time you cry over Lavitz and you hear the 4 different interpolations of the same score: happy, cheerful, whimsical, and then when he gets killed with the Dragon Buster by Lloyd, sad. Because the piece, based on the chip tune that they were using at that era, was very evocative of things you would have found from Phantasy Star, Star Ocean, and any version of like a JRPG they tried to port to something like the Nintendo Game Gear. It's an era of gaming that the word that comes to my mind first is bastardized. The professional term that they taught us in school when we went to CPSC would have been, and it's a word I've been using a lot, atomizing. Gaming used to be very big. It used to be a very big world. You could do anything you wanted in it and do it simply because you wanted to, or you could experience it because it was a goal that you set out to do. People playing OSRS back when it was free to play and was less majestic than it is now, doing things like collecting cabbages and becoming responsible for cabbage-based events because they decided to make a cult around collecting cabbage. People creating a myth in EverQuest about that particular crystal that was in a dungeon raid that they protected and basically created an entire lore-based history moment because they wanted to do so, because they thought, let's try to protect this weird little thing in this little side of this MMO. The original Plague that happened inside of WoW, where somebody brought a status effect outside of a dungeon.
I remember that.
And it's now used as an example of exactly how pandemic conditions can spread. Every single one of these things, for most people, is emblematic of the very argument that I was making, if you remember. I know you probably don't, Wick, but I can remind you of it, that I was making on December 6th against Irrelevant. Things
Yeah, I
like
don't
that.
remember December 6th.
I know. It's okay. That argument has been on a parade, and I've been on a victory parade ever since, because it is basically the idea behind things like video games such as Progmod and Crimson Desert. And literally whatever fucking thing comes out from the AAA that people talk about like it's hot sliced bread, but not dry hot sliced bread, and it's stale and has no mayonnaise. So, the Annapurna interactive shit, where you've got a supposed pro-Israelite's daughter spending millions of dollars to put out a game like Mixtape, and you see an ad for it, and it's like 2 tongues undulating against each other as a minigame. And you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Meanwhile, you go boot up your PS2, and you're like, alright, Final Fantasy X Blitzball. Time to get those last 10 kick skills I need. Because you spent time in your youth learning how to do the jet shot minigame so you could get the jet shot for Thetis. Because not only is it a skill in the game itself, but it's also a mechanic that if you learn the jet shot, you get it as a #1 ace in the hole volleyball game. Because it's like volleyball / soccer underwater. And most people remember playing these games ad infinitum, putting their blankets underneath the door frame so that the light of them playing the game wouldn't come out of the bottom, because their parents wanted to see if they were staying up at night, playing incessantly. The memories are not the same now. And what Jay Funky was trying to ask was basically, there was this period of time where there just used to be a simple love and joy of the game for the love of the game. You could do whatever the fuck you wanted. Didn't matter if you were a person who was griefing in Minecraft or you were a person playing your 600-hour campaign of Darkest Dungeon or Crusader Kings 3. Most people, they just gravitated towards the things they gravitated towards. Some people were multiplayer players. Some people were single-player players. Now, we live in a time period where in the last fiscal quarter of this year, we have witnessed a game get launched and die within 45 days. That was Highguard. And then every single time something from the AAA got released, here comes an indie project that people say that they love. They try it, and then they drop it, and then the next thing comes out, and it's the Steam chart shit all over Twitter.
They're chasing the dragon. They are
Yes,
chasing
they are.
this feeling of nostalgia that they were either had in their youth or were told that this is how games should feel. And
Mhm.
because of the way the games are now designed in many ways, they just can't reach that level. And
No.
they are expecting something that they're never going to get, at least not from those types of games. And yeah, so they're chasing the dragon. So they have a lot of expendable income. So they'll all go all in, and it's become a culture war thing too, right? Like, so they'll be like, you have to buy Crimson Desert to own the libs. The libs didn't want you to play this game. right?
Hate that shit.
Right? You know what I mean? Like
Well, it's both sides.
they'll go like, and it's with all the things like, oh, those chuds hate that you like, I don't know, fucking this
Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
yeah, this game. You got to own the chuds by helping us out. And so we've had the culture war kind of mixed into gaming in a way that just sucks. It just sucks.
Yes.
It sucks.
It's not just poo-poo dog water. It sucks the fun out of everything. You can't enjoy the game for what it is.
How do we fix that, MahDryBread?
I'll use a relevance argument. Irrelevant kept saying when he was debating with me. It's okay. I'll make it simple. He kept saying to me, "It's a bad game, Carl. What makes it a bad game?" Flip the script. This is a good game. What makes it a good game? Nobody can tell you. Not one.
MahDryBread, can you tell us?
What makes what game good?
Any game that you want good.
Depends on the game.
Let's say
Pokemon. Let's go with Pokemon.
Okay, let's go.
What do you like about Pokemon?
Okay,
What makes it a good
franchise? Hold on, give me a game.
Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon? Okay, well, I'm actually playing through Ultra Moon for my first time on my show right now. I don't know if I'm qualified to go saying good game yet. I'm not very far in.
Let's say what makes it fun for you.
So far,
yes.
Having a great time hanging out with my friends. I like catching the new Pokemon. Like I like finding the new Pokemon because some of them I'm not very familiar with. I like the battle system in Pokemon, like the RPG battle system and everything, but that isn't really like my main draw for it. Exploring the world, having the dialogue, that's all interesting enough to me, but that's kind of like side stuff. I'd say the main thing that is the reason why I am enjoying Pokemon Moon, outside of doing it with my friends because everything's funny with your friends, that's like coming from the game itself, it's probably the fun of getting new Pokemon and old Pokemon and then trying to put together a team with it that is functional but not min-maxy. I like to have one that's functional, but it's still a Pokemon that I really, really like, and I try to make it work. I really enjoy taking things that are not perfect and then trying to make it work anyway. I mean, that's my job with Pokemon challenges, is like I'm beating Pokemon games with like some weak ass Pokemon or some weird gimmick.
You guys want to hear? You guys want to hear the hot take of the day? I guess for me.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes.
Give it to me. Give it to me raw.
I think that, and you're not gonna like this, MahDryBread. Let's plays, game guides, all that shit has made gaming less fun.
Yes
because instead of playing the game, figuring it out, finding a way that you find interesting, fun, and successful, and learning the systems, what people do nowadays is they go in and they say, what's the best Pokemon for beating this trainer? Or what's the best strat to use? What's the best build in Elden Ring in order to beat this boss? And they'll watch a YouTube guide on it. They'll read they'll read one of those like fucking Reddit posts, and they'll just copy paste it, and they may change it up a little bit, tweak it a little bit, but that's how 95% of people engage with games, and it's just less fun. And the problem is, even for the 5% of us who don't engage with games that way, game designers know this happens, and they design around it.
Thanks, Darkside Phil.
And here we are. And I think that has sucked the fun out of games for me in a lot of ways. Not all games. There's still games that I really enjoy.
Well,
but
you can choose to play however you want, right?
You say that, but there is always this kind of FOMO around, like, you're seeing people running the best builds around, and you're watching them, and you're seeing their numbers, and you compare yourself in a way that you didn't before.
Yeah, I can't relate to that. Sorry,
right
I don't compare myself to others.
No, I can jump in right here. Yeah, I can jump in right there. That
quickly, but we do got a little bit of line.
I know. But that thing you're describing right there, that's the hole that Jay Funky was trying to talk about filling in gaming. The thing that you're saying is correct. Now, the games that I like to play, 95% yes, 5% no. But on that 5%, all of the games are puzzle boxes. The way that you choose to solve the puzzle box with the tools that the developer provided for you to do so is what creates the hole that you then fill with your gameplay, and that gameplay is the fun. But what games have now become is that not only have they been conscripted into a culture war, and Lord, the things that they said about Pragmata, how is it that I make the point on that day, but it has to come out of June's mouth? She went ahead and has to say what I said in order for everybody to get it. It's not clicking. And the reason why is because they're looking for something. They're looking for something that's like the totalitarian, this is a complete answer. If you resist against this, you are some kind of ism that removes the fun from games because they can't just play the games to play the games. It's not even a question of what makes this game good, it's what makes this game bad. It's what makes this game memorable for you. I could have a lot more fun playing Beautiful Joe video games than I could playing the newest hotness that is supposedly picking up numbers on Twitch. And
Okay, well, that's always correct because Beautiful Joe is fantastic.
yes, of course. Team Clover all day and Team Wonderful 101 all the way. But that era, let's say character action games, Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, Beautiful Joe, God Hand, Magna Carta, certain versions of certain knockoffs like Lollipop Chainsaw, and that one that's coming out soon that's basically a zombie and it's basically Lollipop Chainsaw but it's a guy. All of these kinds of games, they require you to be invested into them. Any genre, any game, it does not matter. If you are so incapable of realizing that the inch-high barrier of fun is keeping you from discovering new things, you are going to be very disappointed because you're destroying and crushing the experience down into the size of a pebble, and then you're grinding it into your teeth until you chip your tooth on it. And then you're forever looking for something to complete that tooth. You can never get a nibble or a grind or any kind of like taste. I agree with what MahDryBread was saying earlier. There is a level of grit that goes into everything because the people who have that itch, they understand what realism is when they see it. Many people don't respond to the culture war, period. They don't care. I certainly don't care. And unfortunately, even in the victory lap that I should feel that I should take on that argument being made completely ratified for me, it's a hollow feeling because it's just arguments, right? The thing that actually lasts and you remember is the game. It is your gameplay. It is your LP. It is the time that you had doing it. The way that I could play through Baldur's Gate 3 versus how somebody could play through Honor Mode solo, min-maxing with the best class. It is the difference between an experience and a goal. They're making a checkbox, a list of things.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
If they enjoyed games more, this wouldn't be a problem. But, you know, there's money, and there's arguments, and there's actual political ground to be gained.
Speaking of money, let's read a couple super chats.
Oh, congratulations.
For super chats? Only a couple.
Yes.
We haven't got a lot. But it's okay.
Well,
we still love it.
I don't think I'm the biggest draw.
You're not, but that's okay. You know what, gang? I am going to make so much money next week when I do my rape review of what happened to Chad Logic. Okay? I'm going to make
I heard about that.
But today we're just having fun. It's wholesome. It's wholesome. We're gonna make a little money. $2 from my listening library to say I've been playing Blitzball on FF10 for 15 years.
It's so addictive, right?
$2 from Lost Coyote of MA. Everybody, go play Killer 7. I've never played Killer 7. I don't know what that is.
Neither have I. I'll look it up right now.
It's a cool game.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Tell us again.
Shooter made by Suda51. But like, I can't describe it, and like, it's one of those ones. Okay. When I was saying earlier that like I really like games made by like an artist who like this was like their vision. That's Suda51 games like Killer 7. It's very, very artistic in a way that I can't describe it and have the thing that you're picturing actually resemble the game. That's the kind of thing where you might want to click on a long play and just go watch 5-10 minutes here and there and see like, okay, like what does this game feel like? Is this something I'm interested in?
$5 from Excelsior, or £5 from Excelsior 4574. Is this MahDryDev versus the world? This isn't a shouting match. Oh wait, Soy Pill isn't here. Also, Dev, get on there and talk games with MahDryBread. Also, Okami #1. Well, thank you for the £5. But yeah, MahDryBread's not. Look, Dev's political. MahDryBread is not political, and that's okay. But I have
political opinions. I vote. I've been interested in politics for well over a decade.
Okay. You are not a political streamer.
I'm not a political YouTuber.
You're not a political streamer.
Yeah. I'm also not like a bag of dicks who feels the need to constantly try and force everyone else to think what I think. I'm completely okay with the idea that I'm wrong.
Sure.
And that other people have different life experiences than me that I'm not privy to, and that I have no business trying to force them into looking from my perspective. And I would quite like if they shared their perspective so that I can have a little bit more understanding of it.
See, you would have made a great political YouTuber, but they would have eaten you alive. Okay? They would have eaten you
I don't know.
alive.
I'm kind, I'm not toothless.
See, the thing is
I
that
like that saying. Don't mistake my
Yeah.
kindness for weakness, baby. Okay.
Mm.
$5, a 25 PLN. I don't know how much that was, but thank you. From number 4018. Appreciate you. And then $5 Canadian from Bun Priar 5662.
That's not worth anything.
Is there any hope for modern Pokemon fans? Scarlet Violet and Sword and Shield look so ass.
I'm a bad guy to ask for that because I'm only up to Gen 7 on the Pokemon games that I've played. I played a fuckload of Gen 1 through 6 for work, and I'm just getting into 7. Sword and Shield is 8, Scarlet Violet is 9. So I've played a little bit of, I think it was Shield, several years ago. I played a few sessions of it. I thought it was fun. I don't like all the new stuff, but I don't dislike all the new stuff either. It was definitely quite a big change. The world was quite interesting. New Pokemon interesting. But a lot of people I've heard, even within Pokemon, don't really like that game overall. They didn't like a lot of the new features, which I didn't dig into. And then Scarlet Violet, never played it for a single day. I own, I think, Violet. I was bedridden when it came out, so I couldn't stream it when it came out. And then I have never, ever gotten around to it because I want to do it fresh on stream. So I legit know nothing about Scarlet and Violet.
Well, tell you what, when you do start up and stream Scarlet Violet, DM me and I'll make sure that this guy or girl, I don't know, knows about it. And so they can watch you
I can do that.
suffer. That'll be fun.
It might be in ears, but I can do that.
That I think is the for me. When I am, on the rare times I do, watching a YouTuber play a game or a streamer play a game, that is what I'm there for. I don't care about the game. I care about the streamer's interaction with the game.
Yes. And like that's a big part of my show is people don't come. Some people come for the game because they're interested in the game and they want to learn how to play the game. If I'm playing like Crusader Kings or something like that, I've had a lot of people tell me I taught them how to play Crusader Kings, but the reason they stay after they learn how to play is because they like watching me play Crusader Kings and the way I do it and the way I think out loud and talking back and forth with the chat. If it's a live stream, if it's a let's play, it's different, obviously, because those are locally recorded. I do both. And so, like, the vast majority of my Let's Play videos are not streamed. They're locally recorded, and so the vibe's a little different. But a lot of people, you can watch anyone play Mario Party. Why did people go so crazy about my Mario Party videos? Is because it's me and a bunch of my really genuine friends that I have. They're not YouTubers. Like, some of them have done a little bit of YouTube. But for them, it's just me and my genuine friends playing Mario Party and goofing off and having a really fun time with it. And I do editing gags and edit in silly sound effects. And we just have a good time with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have a good time.
It's not. Okay. It's just not the same. It's a different experience.
Here's what we're gonna do because we do have a bit of line. Single player, Carl. Thank you for coming on. Yeah. You got one more question before we let you go.
I guess the best thing I can do here is reword J Funky's question. In the future, as we move forward out of this era where, quote, we are putting the woke away and people are becoming much more aware and informed consumers and customers about their products. Do you believe that the best way forward for people is to be less invested into the brouhaha over the political diatribes and the ground to be gained from the topic, and that what they really need to do is just return to nature, return to the monkey, and learn how to have fun again? Real, genuine fun.
Has that made the question more clear for you, Mr. Drybread?
If that's what's being said, then like I I mean, I'm still fairly neutral, but I understand the question better. It's just enjoy video games however you want to enjoy video games. If that means that you like bitching on Twitter about culture war shit, then fine. You can, if you genuinely enjoy that, do that. I don't think a lot of people genuinely enjoy it. I think it's a bad habit. But if you genuinely enjoy doing that, but complaining online about the video games that you're passionate about and getting engaged that way, sure, as long as you actually enjoy the games and you're not just getting riled up about games that you don't actually really have an interest in just because someone has tried to convince you it is or is not woke or something like that. Fucking don't get muddied up with that. But like, if you want to argue about why Resident Evil Outbreak is the greatest thing ever, and it is, then by all means, you get in those arguments. If you want to get into those arguments, just never feel the need to engage with that side of gaming culture. At the end of the day, enjoy the game how you want to enjoy the game. Fuck what anyone thinks, whether it be you're using cheats, or looking up guides, or you're just completely disconnecting. You never checked the Reddit, you never checked the guides, you never checked anything. You just want to be in a bubble playing the game. Fuck it, that's fun too. Just do whatever you want with it. Just enjoy it. Don't let what other people think online ruin your enjoyment of a video game, no matter how annoying they are.
Easier said than done, but I understand.
I think it's easy.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in, Carl.
Yep. I got one more thing to say before I leave.
One more
to
thing
add
quickly.
on to the end of his thing. I think the thing that people have to do is they have to go back to when we used to be on forums, when we were just people and we were having fun, having the nerd war about shit and doing the bubble thing, because what it is now is a wasteland. They literally just need to go back and be 5 again and learn how to have fun with each other and have more fun talking amongst each other with the strategies that they took to do something, rather than atomizing it down into a product where it's like, I gotta pay $40 to get this one, gotta pay $80 to get this one, gotta pay $111 to get the collector edition, because it's just stuff. It's physical stuff. They need to have the raw emotions of what it feels like to beat a boss that they've been running 45 times, and on attempt 46 they finally did it. They'll be a lot more satisfied and happy. Woke, unwoke, doesn't matter. Don't care what it is. Hardcore, PvP, doesn't matter.
Thanks for calling in, buddy. I really appreciate you, Carl. And we'll have you on again for your own little shows here soon, I'm sure. But I'll talk to you later, okay?
That's what they all say. Yeah, I'll see you.
Thanks for hanging out, Carl.
$10 from my listening library to ask you. I work 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. But I'd love to play for 30 minutes to 2 hours daily and record it and post it. No talking or live streaming, just playing the game and posting. Is it viable if I'm consistent?
If you mean viable as in, will this blow up big and make you money? No, probably not. Having commentary is borderline a requirement, unless you are planning on doing long plays, which is honestly more involved and more difficult than if you only have 30 minutes to 2 hours a day to play. Although you still could. You could stitch something together, make something long play style if you really wanted to. But if you're literally just doing no commentary, 30-minute gameplay videos, that kind of thing, no, they never actually take off or go anywhere. They did a tiny bit in the very early days of YouTube, but not really anymore. However, if you're just doing it for fun, then literally just do it for fun. Like, don't let like viability of it blowing up affect whether you do the video or not. Because for all you know, you're going to start doing these for a while and you're going to end up really enjoying it. And then you decide, I actually do want to do commentary, or I have these other ideas that I want to try. Fuck it, it gets the ball rolling. What if you start recording gameplay stuff and you realize, like, I don't really like doing this, but I really like the editing part. And then you become an editor on the side. That's cash. There's a lot of good ways this could go if you just give it a try. Do I think it's going to blow up doing exactly what you've described? No, probably not. But don't let that stop you. That really shouldn't be part of the consideration, unless you were to genuinely want to do it as a job.
Money's nice, but if
sure,
if you're going onto YouTube to make money, you're going on the YouTube for the wrong reasons. I say as someone who, this is my living. This is what I do for a living. I do make a decent living at it, right? It's not like the best. I'm not blowing up like Destiny or whatever, right? But I make a good amount a year, at least now. But when I was first doing it, the first year, I was making nothing, dude. I was like, nothing. I was poor as dirt. But I enjoyed it.
Took me a decade to get above minimum wage.
And this is why, if you may indulge me before I bring on the next guy, right?
Sure.
This is why when a lot of people are trying to like pocket watch me or say, well, oh, you're not making as much as so and so, so you might as well give up. Blah, blah, blah. I could be making $0 and I'd still talk about these things. Okay. I'd still
Yeah.
come on, make my video, yell and scream at people I think are wrong. Like, you can't really, you guys can't stop me.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
do.
No, yeah. I've ditched series before because I didn't like doing it anymore. I'm too stubborn for that. Back when I was making no money, I was doing it. Back when I was below the poverty line, I was doing it. And now that I'm making good enough money, I can take care of a few people, I'm still fucking doing it because I want to do it.
Exactly.
Also, I looked over at your Twitch chat, by the way, and like half an hour ago, I just saw it now. Someone said he looks like the Satanist guy from SLC Punk. Now, I don't know what that is, but you can't imagine how many fucking times I've had people say that I either look like a Satanist or a warlock.
It's because
all
of
the
your
time.
beard,
It's
man.
so many times.
The beard shape.
Okay, it's the beard, and it's like the fucking Dracula hairline, right? Like if I... Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If I pull it nice and back,
I
I'm starting to look kind of evil now, aren't? Oh my god, I look like a warlock or something. I got the Dracula flow hairline, and I used to have longer hair too, right? So, here, let me just swoop it so it's less horrible. Oh my god, look how great my hair looks.
We ain't.
Oh, that looks great
I
now.
love you, buddy, but we're not here for your looks. Okay, I didn't bring you on because you're a looker. Let's say that.
No, it's the raw sex appeal, right?
Yeah,
Let
but
me
that
just-
shines out in spite of
Maybe
you.
I'll just hide it.
But now it's
you
all good,
know?
it's all
Oh my
good.
god. Look how much hair I have, guys. I'm looking great today.
Great.
I look bolder now. That's crazy. I think I'm just gonna swoop it again.
No, we love
There we go.
MahDryBread, and
I'm sweating to
he's beautiful
death
to
in
all of
here
us.
right now, by the
okay?
way.
Once in chat,
Why
if
does
you
this have
think
to happen
he's
the
beautiful.
one day it's not cold?
Once in chat, if you
Turn that
think he's
fan on.
beautiful. Let's bring on the next guy. We've delayed enough.
Wow. If they don't think I'm beautiful, their opinion's wrong.
True. I don't see any ones in chat. I'm just saying. But here we go. How you doing? What's up? What do we got?
Hi. To be honest,
Hey, Doomer.
Hey. I'm not gonna take up too much time, so I have 2 questions for MahDry and 1 question for Wick.
Not going
And
to take up
one
too much time,
question-
but you have 3 questions. Okay, let's hear it.
Oh, okay. First question for MahDry. In your experience, what would you say is the best streaming platform when it comes to quality of life?
Like quality of life for the viewer or for the streamer?
For the streamer, yeah.
That's hard, and it definitely goes back and forth. For a long time, it was definitely Twitch. For a long time, it also wasn't. I left Twitch for 4 years for Hitbox TV until that company died, because I was so sick of servers crashing on Twitch and them not answering anything. Okay, so right now, I would say that the answer is somewhere between Twitch and YouTube. I'm not fully familiar with all of the features of Kick, obviously. However, YouTube has a lot of weird little things on the back end, but generally it is easy to use. It is the most popular website on the internet other than Google, so people know it exists and will find you there. Visibility is pretty good on the homepage for if you're a stream, even if you're a small stream. Visibility is way less punishing for you as a streamer if you're small and you're on YouTube than if you're small and on Twitch. If you're small on Twitch, it's much harder to get momentum. Likewise, if you're big on Twitch, it's a little easier to get momentum than on YouTube. However, YouTube is also just such a bigger website that it almost doesn't matter. I would say generally the answer right now is probably YouTube. A big part is that their super chat system, they take 30% cut of the super chats. You know, someone super chats $10 the streamer gets probably $7 if there's nothing else getting cut out. However, on Twitch, the equivalent is Twitch bits, where they take 50%. And very few people have a better cut than 50%. So like right off the bat as a streamer, YouTube has financial incentives for you to stream on YouTube. And to quickly answer just an extra question, because I know people are going to wonder now, is like, what's a better quality of life for the viewer? It's almost always Twitch has the better quality of life for the viewer than YouTube, except one big thing. which how used it is entirely depends on what kind of show you're running and how active the people are in the chat. But on YouTube, you can rewind the stream live and watch stuff really easily. On Twitch, you basically can't. That is a huge difference for the viewer.
Yeah, actually, you can rewind on Twitch, but you have to Prime sub, or at least sub to them.
Okay. See, that's free on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, the ads are way worse on Twitch, but like,
they're
if you
terrible.
get a good enough browser, good enough ad block, you might be fine.
Okay, second question.
Yeah, second question. About Canadian politics, if you don't mind.
Yes, that's okay.
So, I was watching Dev's video like after the Trudeau's tenure, and he mentioned
Yes.
that Trudeau's government had at least 2 prorogations, right? And I looked into it, and apparently it has to be approved by the Governor General. And I was wondering, did the Governor Generals ever give the reason why they approved it? Do you know, or do you speculate?
I feel like I heard at the time what the reason was, and I probably had a snarky comment about it at the time. But in the end, it probably doesn't matter. Here's a funny thing about how politics works in Canada. We have a lot of weird conflicts of interest. The Canadian people, they don't, if you don't have an interest specifically in how Canadian government works, I wouldn't expect anyone to know anything about it, because what relevance does Canadian politics have to your average person outside of Canada? Very little. It's not like America where people pay attention to this stuff, and even then they don't always know how the government works. Here in Canada, we have a lot of odd little things, like how the Prime Minister is not technically picked by the people. The people are voting for a party, not a prime minister. And also, the vote, it's not technically the person who, wins the most districts wins. It's practically that. Technically, who picks it is the Governor General, because the Governor General has final say. The Governor General is a largely ceremonial role that is a carryover of when we had Governor Generals when we were the Dominion of Canada. It's just a carryover. They just represent the crown, because the Queen, well, now it's the King Charles. I was going to say the Queen of England is also the Queen of Canada. Now it's a king now. So we have a king. It's not that we have the British king. It's that he's also the Canadian king. It's a different honorary. But the Governor General is just supposed to be the king or queen's sign off that, yes, this guy's the prime minister, and that's still on the books. But who picks the Governor General is the prime minister. And then the prime minister picks the Governor General, and the Governor General picks the prime minister. And so as a result, the Governor General is usually just a member of that party who's a loyalist or a celebrity.
Okay.
Like, the Governor General, I don't know what excuse they gave, but that's the thing, is it's just an excuse. The Governor General is just going to do whatever the party that picked them said. They're going to come up with a reason to prorogue government.
Okay.
Canadian politics is full of shit like that. Did you know that about half of our prime ministers we've had in our whole history were not voted on by more than a few percentage of the public? Because when a prime minister has to step down or dies, and the way the party picks who the next person in charge is an internal party vote. Less than 1% of Canadians are a member of any political party. And so you could vote for a prime minister and then they step down for any reason a few months later, and now you have a prime minister you didn't vote for the whole rest of the term.
Yeah,
that's half our prime ministers. Half our prime ministers we didn't vote for.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's similar here in Poland too, but that's another different story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last question to Wick. So I've been hearing also on the internet, and that still the Democrats are in cahoots with radical progressives and radical socialists. And I was thinking to you, who is in the trenches, to say, and has been talking a lot about it. Would you say that the cleaning of that is going on, or is it still status quo with the...
Here's how I would describe the current state of the Democratic Party in America. We are having an internal struggle right now, similar to the one that the Republicans had back in the day with MAGA. Okay, you had the more centrist Republicans, the more moderate Republicans, the more conservative Republicans, and they had a fight with MAGA basically for control of the party. MAGA won that fight. It won its war. MAGA owns the Republicans now. Straight down the ticket. There's the Thomas Masseys of the world and a few others, but those are exceptions that kind of prove the rule here. The Democrats are basically having that fight now with its extremists. So yes, you could point to some members of the Democratic Party who are cozying up to people like Hassan Piker and these other things, and people like him, and that is very bad. It is very troubling. It is very worrying. But they are far from in charge or in control of the party. And we have a lot of people that are more rational, reasonable, liberal, that are still in control of the DNC and other apparatuses that, it's a internal struggle for control right now. And that's where we're at. So I hope I win, but it's still being fought. Does that make sense?
Well, thanks for answering me. It was fun being here.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for being here, buddy, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for hanging out, Doomer.
Thanks.
Excelsior for
He was also... Sorry, I was just going to say he was also on our WoW guild.
Oh, there's a lot of WoW
Yeah.
players.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of names from the WoW guild in here.
Excelsior for £2. As a Britard to a Canuck, where is more fucked?
I guess it depends on what you're talking about. Politically, I'm going to say the UK looks a little bit more fucked. Economically, it's always been Canada. It'll probably always be Canada. We have always been well behind on the economy when it comes to the United Kingdom. But we've been in a housing crisis here since I was born. They called it a housing crisis when I was a kid. It only got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. We are at record numbers of people moving from Ontario, Canada to the United States and to any other country. We haven't had these records since the 1960s because the economic problems here are so bad. The groceries have gotten so expensive. The housing has gotten so expensive. Nobody owns anymore. People have all sold their old cottages that they grew up with and everything. The housing crisis here is very severe, to the point that me and my family want to leave the country to affordably live somewhere else as well. Everybody's priced out here.
That's rough, man. Real rough. I don't know.
It's
much
the whole
about it,
country.
but-
It's especially bad here, but it's the whole country. It's been like this. Like when I was in high school, the teachers used to tell us that you'll live with your parents until you're 30 and you may never own a home. And that's what Mr. Wood was very direct about that, and he was right. Almost everybody I know from my age, I don't think I know any homeowners, and a lot of them still live with family.
Fair enough. Let's bring on the next contestant on whatever this is. Hello, you're live.
Oh, we got Aaron.
Hello?
Hi, you're here. You're
Hey, how's it
live.
going?
What
He's
do you
also
got?
from the guild.
What up? How are we doing?
I'm good.
We're here.
Let me mute this real quick. So we played a lot of WoW recently. How did you feel about that,
Mhm.
Madry?
Obviously, really fun time. Love hanging out with you guys. It's nice being the guild tailor, the guild enchanter. It's always fun to be able to help people out with their stats and everything. Fun helping out on the dungeons and whatnot. Wish it was around longer so I had more time to just kind of goof off, because I like goofing off a lot in WoW. I like fishing. I like chatting with people a lot. Half the time I had the game open, I was literally just talking on guild chat. Like you saw my whole fucking comedy routines on there that I'm doing constantly.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make people laugh half the time because it's funny to me, is just trying to get a crack at everybody else in the guild. Shit like coming into the guild and being like, hey, if Dave and Dev were a tag team, what would their tag team name be? And then I
Yeah.
come up with progressively dumber names. That's a fun gag. I like that gag.
Oh, dude. Sometimes even fucking around with the world chat was great. Especially
Oh, I turned off world chat on like day one because it was all doomer bullshit. It was all just people so upset.
a lot of it was, but when it wasn't, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Sometimes it would be nice to fuck with some of the people in there.
Yeah, I turn that shit off because it's like because it's like fills up your whole chat. I want my chat box to be my guild chat because those are the people I want to talk to.
Any plans for any more WoW after all that?
Yeah. I mean, I know Dev was talking about he wants to get on another private server at some point. He wants to for like footage at some point, but then he might just start playing on a server. If he starts up on another server, I'll jump onto that server too, and I'll play not as often because there won't be like a time crisis or anything for it. But yeah, like I'll be around and I'll be in the guild and everything. I love WoW, as long as it's like a good private server.
Yeah, I recently just started hopping
What makes
back
the difference between a good and a bad private server? Because I'll be real with you, I've never played on the private servers. I've always done
A
the
bad private
the
server
normal.
gives Blizzard money.
No, I've been on a few bad private servers. Usually it's moderation is really bad. If there's any custom content, it's poorly implemented. Dead server where like just like no one on it. Like the economy doesn't really function because the auction house is dead. There's ones where they have like weird dodgy shit like, oh, if you do a donation, then we'll give you all this in-game shit that makes you way better. It's like, I don't want to be anywhere near that. There's ones with a lot of gold scammers. Turtle WoW was so good. I think I've only ever seen one gold scammer on Turtle WoW ever, and that was years ago. If you play modern Blizzard WoW, gold scammers everywhere. They've never been able to get rid of them. Turtle WoW, no gold scammers.
Yeah, I think I only got some gold scammer when the server was already dead. Like some person sent me a message request about, oh, look at all this gold and stuff like that. Yeah, fuck out of here.
Yeah. No. There's a big difference. Oh, and obviously the number one thing you run into on bad private WoW servers is just it's really unstable. It crashes a lot. There's rubber banding issues with the server and stuff, and you might like fucking everything just starts running on the spot, and then the server goes down, the server comes back up, and you're dead because you got killed during that point where it wasn't working properly. Stuff like that. Never ever ran into that in Turtle WoW. The only glitch I ran into Turtle WoW that like mattered was there was that zone when we were doing, I don't think it was Crescent Grove. I think it was something else. But when we were walking to it was in Thousand Needles. When we were walking to the dungeon, that little zone right before the custom dungeon had the weird pathfinding issues, and they were doing the evasion thing. Like the game thought you couldn't reach them. It was a little glitchy there, but either in that, it was fine.
Yeah. No, yeah. Any other community games you are participating in at all as of late?
I play a lot of Haven and Hearth. I've started a village on Haven and Hearth every world for the last many worlds. I've played that game for over a decade. Love that game. Play it off and on and everything. We always have a village. We always have a great time with it. Many struggles, many stories of survival against hostile Russian players. People who tried to dox me. Shitty people. Welcome to Haven and Hearth. It is the most lawless video game I've ever played. I talked to the lead developer once about a guy trying to dox me, and he was like, just block him. And I found out later the lead developer is friends with that guy, and it's like, that makes sense. It's still one of the best video games I've ever played in my life. I still have infinite respect for the developers for the video game they've created, just not for the attitude that they have. I'm known in that community. I've always been around. I was the YouTuber they couldn't scare off. They scared off Pro Jared. They scared off the other people. I stuck around.
Yeah, I never heard of this game, I don't think.
It's very good. It's on Steam nowadays, but it's been around for 13 years, something like that.
You said it was Hearth and what?
Haven and Hearth.
Haven and Hearth. Gotcha. Okay.
It's free. It's very good.
Sick. I will check this out.
And it's legit free. Like you can pay like a one-time payment of like $10 or $15 to support the devs, and they give you a small in-game bonus of like your inventory size is slightly better, but legitimately it is a free video game.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Yay.
I think I should actually lay a criticism. MahDryBread.
Uh-oh.
You're too nice. I think you're too nice sometimes. Sometimes I think you might be too nice to a fault.
Give us a specific example of where you think should have been mean, but he was not.
Not necessarily mean, but I think he sometimes tries to see the good in people beyond beyond any good
Sure,
that there should.
give us an example.
Beyond normal reason,
Beyond normal.
because that's true. You've seen me give people chances who probably didn't deserve it, and
Yeah.
I agree.
Like this is mainly like private server drama, so I won't get too deep into the weeds with it. But specifically, we've had a user that we both had arguments with, who I specifically call a coward at times because they don't even want to engage in conversation with me anymore. Because every time they do, they just know I'm right anyways.
There's some degrees of that. Trust me. There's some, but also they don't. Some of them just don't like that a moderator is telling them to kill themselves. You probably shouldn't do that.
I don't think I've told this one that.
This one, right?
Yeah, I've watched you say that to other ones. I thought you were talking about the one you did tell to kill himself.
No.
I don't think a moderator should be saying that.
Obviously not.
I'm the most democratically elected moderator, as we all know. I just, lost in the mail, they haven't gotten around to giving me the rank yet, but we all know deep down I'm a moderator. And I have not told anyone to kill themselves. I've told them I'm going to kill myself through a very funny meme of the Big Show saying, "Commit suicide." I love that clip. I haven't said I'm going to kill anyone else.
Listen.
You guys want to see the clip of?
I do.
Hold on, it's
Give
on
it
my
to me.
desktop.
DM it to me.
I'm
and I'll
sending it
play
to you right now. Hold on. What
DM
chat
it to
do
me and I want to play.
I can
I'll
put
play
this
that
in the
clip.
show chat,
Okay.
or
Put me on.
it's just not.
Just give it to
full
my
blast.
normal DM and I can stream it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Madry, gonna put me on full blast when I laid the silliest of criticism against you. I see how it is, dog.
Great.
I mean, I gave you a real answer. Here we go. It's called the file's called Big Show Commit Suicide. It's on my desktop. This is a frequently used clip.
Okay, give me a second. Just want to make sure I don't show anything I shouldn't. Full screen in it.
Don't worry, there's nothing. You're not gonna get in trouble.
For like, you'll see.
I can already.
Showing all the dick pics.
I can already see Ace clipping that now. Thanks, Madry.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have sandwiched to the clip between like 6 dick pics. I'm sorry.
Okay, you ready? Everyone got it up?
Yes.
Commit suicide.
I did see that.
This will be useful. I'm gonna hold on to this one. I have.
No, I can give you funny wrestling memes all the time. Oh Jesus, I hear myself.
I can.
Oh, there we go.
I can absolutely use this for later. No, thank you for that.
Dude, I know you're not tuned in on like pro wrestling discourse, but like the quality of memes within professional wrestling is so much higher than within video games. They will pull out the most obscure funny clips and use them in the funniest ways. Probably the only wrestling meme you know, because it broke out into mainstream, is the meme format of like the old guy in a suit with the slicked back white hair getting progressively more excited and aroused in each panel.
Vince McMahon. That's Vince McMahon.
The one I
That's
know
Vince
most
McMahon.
Yeah,
is the Hassan one.
The former owner of WWE.
Greedy bastard.
Yeah, the one I know most is the Hassan one. You know the one I'm talking about?
Hassan pro wrestling meme?
The wrestler. He's like, I want to kill Hassan. And the guy's like, in a video game? He's like, no, in real life.
No, Wick, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's not a wrestler. You're talking about Sam Hyde.
I thought it was
so
like,
it's
I always
Sam
thought it was
Hyde?
a wrestler.
No, that's like an internet provocateur in a boxing
I thought
match.
he was a wrestler. I don't know anything about this shit. Okay, I don't know.
Okay, Wick, I just sent you a DM. This is the meme doesn't matter, but do you recognize the meme format?
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
You recognize that guy's head, right?
Yes.
So that guy, that's Vince McMahon. He's the one who ran the WWF from the early 80s until like a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
WWF, WWE, same company.
Sure. I believe.
Bro,
that's who he is, and that's him portraying his on-screen character of Mr. McMahon.
Wick, you don't know
who's like a horrible sex pervert.
Hold on. I need to attack this. Wick, you don't know who Sam Hyde is?
I thought he was a wrestler.
That's crazy.
I know who he is. I thought he did wrestling.
No. He did some charity boxing events, but like he's
maybe
like
it was at that. Hold on. Let me look it up.
It was a content creation boxing event.
Okay, that's why I thought it was a wrestler.
And
because there was a ring,
yeah.
there was like a ref, It looked
Yeah.
like wrestling.
Yeah, and like content creation boxing is heavily inspired by pro wrestling in the presentation style, yeah.
Yes.
But like obviously the fight is just a presentation of a real fight. It's not like a movie fight scene-esque theater performance.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I knew when you were talking about it because I was like, that Hassan Pike, I'm going to kill you in your home in Los Angeles.
And as soon as he said, like, in a video game, no, in real life, I was like, that's the Sam Hyde clip.
Okay,
Oh.
see. Yeah. That's
That's
I thought
funny.
it was. I thought it was.
Wick, I'm sure you know John Cena.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay,
you know
Mr.
John Cena,
Aaron,
you know The Rock, you
I
know
do.
Stone Cold.
I know who that is. Yeah,
You know you know of Hulk Hogan.
Yes, I know who Hulk Hogan is.
You know the name Macho Man Randy
Yes,
Savage.
yes.
I don't
I'm
know if you know the
familiar
voice.
with some of
There you go.
the characters. I just don't know the deep.
I just
wrestling
named
ones.
like some of the most pop culture relevant
Yeah.
American pro wrestlers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those are the ones that your average person, they don't know wrestling, but they know those names.
Undertaker, Triple H.
Undertaker, sure.
Yeah.
Triple H, I feel like if you're not into wrestling, you might not know.
Yeah. But it's still kind of on the surface level.
Sure, he was popular enough during, because you got to remember, he was really big at the very end of the 90s, very early 2000s. People who weren't alive for that don't remember how big pro wrestling was in America at the time. Pro wrestling in America in 1999 to 2001 was beating the NFL. Like that just would happen on TV. The peak of the Attitude Era, which is what that era of wrestling is called in American wrestling, was bigger than sports. And in Japan, it was really hot at the time too. So different style, different companies, and everything. But they were like when you talk about like the fucking four pillars of Japanese wrestling and everything, we're talking about the same time period as Stone Cold Steve Austin main eventing WrestleMania with a broken neck.
Well, I only know some of those names because to me they were kind of household names, like growing up.
They were.
Because I was born in the late '90s, so I grew up knowing about some of them, like Undertaker, Triple H, Boogeyman.
Sure.
Yeah. Those,
Okay, you knowing Boogeyman is fucking nuts. I can't believe anybody who doesn't know wrestling knows the Boogeyman.
I don't know who that is.
I know only
The Boogeyman. Okay,
I
the
used to play
Boogeyman had an
I used to play
amazing
wrestling
look.
games growing up. That's my thing.
Okay, that's how you know. Okay, you played SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Okay, that makes sense.
I used to play the earlier ones. What do you do?
Great video games, by the way. PS2 wrestling games are
Yeah,
fantastic video games.
those were
But
good.
the Boogeyman, let me show Wick a picture. The Boogeyman was a short-lived character in the WWE where he was a crazy guy from the bottomless pit. Now, the character was technically, he's an actor playing a crazy guy from the bottomless pit. That's how they introduced it. He's not literally supernatural, but he kind of became supernatural, and he ate worms for real on the way to the ring. So he was like a 40-year-old dude who would for real eat worms and cover himself in the craziest makeup, and he would go to the ring and have a wrestling match. Now, the look was awesome. The theme was awesome. The entrance was awesome. The character is legit terrifying to look at. He was fully in on the character, eating real worms. They told him, we can gimmick this and we can do fake worms. And he said, this is my character, we're doing real worms. He wanted to do crickets, but apparently they couldn't get them into the building because most buildings wouldn't allow crickets in the stadium because of pests.
Yeah.
So worms were allowed. The guy, okay, everything going for him on being a legendary, crazy character where it's like, this is so outlandish, except he was fucking terrible in the ring. 2 left feet, completely incompetent in the ring. The wrestling was garbage. Everyone had to like work around him. Like they put him in there with like really talented people who could wrestle a broomstick and make the match look good. And even they were struggling because like he was built like an Adonis. He looks like a freak show. And he's like immobile.
Yeah,
he's still around to this day in the video games on a Legends contract because the character is so good. They just never bring up that, like, don't actually go look up his matches. They weren't any good, but the character is awesome.
Yeah, Boogeyman was all about the spectacle. Like, if Undertaker was about the spectacle and the skill of wrestling, Boogeyman was just the spectacle. Like, he would show up with the clock and the ticking and everything. Like,
yeah, he smashes a clock on his head.
Yeah.
And he's eating worms, and he's got like a staff that's
Undertaker.
smoking. He looks the exact same as he did from the video games he played, by the way. He has not aged at all.
Oh.
I'm gonna just start sending some pictures into Wick's DMs of this guy so that he knows who the fuck the Boogeyman is.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm,
While you
I'm
do that,
so-
Aaron, do you have a last question for Mr. Drybread?
Can we just talk about wrestling forever?
Please.
Look, as long as we get money, we can talk about whatever you want forever. But let me read some of these super chats, and we'll get there. Excelsior for £2 says a game named Haven and Hearth equal the worst shite ever.
Damn. How you respond, Madry?
Again, I haven't heard worst shit ever. I don't know. Have you played it? What do you not like about it?
I've never played it. I can't.
I don't know. I'm willing to have a conversation about it. It's okay to have that opinion.
Hop on, Excelsior. Come on.
Come on. Call in. Okay, we got...
Is it just too hardcore for you? I'm sorry. Could you not take the heat of knowing you could die at any moment to some douchebag in Russia?
That sounds like my...
It's a hardcore game, man.
$2 from Festiva to say, I heard MDB is a cool guy. Utterly unforgivable. Thank you for the $2.
Thanks, Festiva. I appreciate it.
$5 from my
That's
listening
Festiva,
library.
I'll have you know. Not Festiva, you Philistine. You plebe.
Have you seen the wrestler Dan Housen? Reminds me of Doink the Clown,
Yeah.
or the Hurricane mixed with the charisma of R-Truth or R-Turth or Booker T.
Our truth. Okay, so I wouldn't compare him to Doink the Clown. Doink the Clown is actually very different, like on a fundamental level of like Matt Bourne. Matt Bourne, incredibly fascinating career, that guy, by the way. There's a whole mini documentary. There's a documentary series called Dark Side of the Ring. Got a lot of non-wrestling fans into wrestling because it just talked about the dark stories of wrestling stories and wrestlers and stuff. Matt Bourne, Doink the Clown had a whole episode. Very good. Anyway, the comparison to like R-Truth, Santino, stuff like that is more accurate. I've been watching Danhausen for years. Really good wrestler. Mostly known as like a really good character, especially like his comedy stuff modern. I know WWE fans are just getting introduced to him because he just signed to that company, but I've been watching this guy for a long time. I'm not really a WWE fan. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I watch wrestling from all over the world every day. Literally after this, I'm going to watch pro wrestling. So it's the plan. And then tomorrow NWA is on and I'm watching that. I never miss an episode of Power. Anyway, Danhausen, I would compare him more to the Hurricane than those other guys, yes, but he still doesn't wrestle anything like the Hurricane. People forget the Hurricane was Sugar Shane Helms. He was the king of the cruiserweights. Shane Helms was a really tremendous in-ring worker. Not that Danhausen isn't, but Danhausen's character is not a badass wrestler. Danhausen's character is this weird little wimpy imp guy who's from hell, and he's very nice and he's very evil, and he's a comedy character who's very self-absorbed and is all about the marketing and everything, but he ends up winning in the end because he lays a curse on his opponent. A very whimsical curse, and then they end up losing later in a whimsical way. Like, he's just this weird little goofy guy in his makeup and everything. He's like, you are cursed. And they're like, fucking what? And then they wrestle the match, and then like during the match the guy will go to the top turnbuckle to dive on him. His foot slips, he crotches himself on the ropes, and then Danhausen takes advantage and beats him. Or like he curses someone and then like they start choking on their drink or something. Like some mishap happens. It's like, how is the curse real? It's such a fun character. People don't know this about pro wrestling. Pro wrestling doesn't try to convince you that it's real any more than Game of Thrones does. Sure. If you're watching WWE, partway through, the show doesn't tell you it's fake, but partway through the show, you'll see a commercial for their website where you can watch these characters out of character talking about how they put together wrestling. They don't, that's more than Game of Thrones does. Like that, no one turns to the camera during the wrestling show and says, this is fake, but they're not trying to convince you it's real. They don't try to convince you that The Undertaker fires lightning. They don't try to convince you that The Undertaker can teleport. There's a scene in which Hornswoggle the Leprechaun goes underneath of the ring, and then Triple H and Shawn Michaels follow him under the ring, and we cut to Little People Court in the Little People world, in which there's a courtroom of midgets. And they're being put on trial for their crimes against midgets. And then when they escape the courtroom, they're trying to pull Shawn Michaels in from under the ring, and he's yelling, "They're tearing me in half." This was a comedy segment. We are not supposed to come away from this being befuddled and convinced that leprechauns are real. Pro wrestling can be very serious, and it can also be very silly. There's different flavors. Professional wrestling is not a show, it's an art form. theater, you can present things that are grounded in reality and things that are not, and things that are somewhere in between. Wrestling is somewhere in between. If you watch TNA wrestling, Rosemary is a demon assassin from the undead realm. Magic is explicitly real in that company. We've seen it. Most storylines have no magic. You could watch a bunch of episodes of TNA, and it's just a fun wrestling show, and there's comedy, and there's serious, and there's whatever. And then a demon assassin shows up, and she's from the undead realm. And she's killed people. She just brought someone back to life. That happened like a few weeks ago. She brought Allie back to life. She killed Allie years ago. Allie's alive.
And now
she's got
she's
blood on her throat,
resurrected
but she's alive
back
now.
into the ring. One more final battle. That kind of shit.
Oh, there's gonna be way more than one more.
You know what I mean.
Wrestlers never retire. They have several retirement matches, and then they get hooked back in because it's addictive.
Yeah.
Any wrestler will tell you being a wrestler is addictive.
So real.
Well, Aaron, thanks for calling in, buddy. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna get the last caller, and then we're probably gonna wrap it up for the night. Is that cool?
Real quick.
All right.
Y'all are
Thanks for hanging out, Aaron.
Okay, thanks for that. Last caller of the night. Hello, you're live.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi. One of Carl's friends, Carl Accordion, as you would call it.
Yeah, I think I've seen your username.
Yep. Hey, it's fun to finally say hi. I've been watching your Pokemon challenges a lot, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. But I don't know. I wanted to mention with Carl, we talked about with Carl. He was saying about the games, the way how like we digest games, right? I have this. This is going to be a very charged opinion for a lot of people. There's this phenomenon in games called jangling keys syndrome, where there's a lot of games being made to jangle keys in front of your face and you're clapping seal going, ho, 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 ho. And that's honestly what's going on right now. Like, it's the same phenomenon of, like, FOMO, but, like, worse.
Can you give me an example of a game that does this?
Friend slop. Just the entire genre of friend slop. Because
What is friend slop?
things like repo, content warning, gambling with your friends. Yes, that is a game.
RV there yet? Does that count?
Yes, I'm gonna count that too because that's kind of in the
Okay.
same.
I like that game. That game's fun.
There's nothing wrong with liking these games, but honestly, right now the games have been leaning towards that. When you're saying like, "Oh, we used to have core memories," like, dude, I had core memories of playing Borderlands 1 for the first time and beating it and feeling like, "Oh my god, this is like amazing and great," and so on.
Thank you for the raid, Admiral Gibbs. You're just in time for us to have the last caller. But go ahead.
Hi,
Continue.
Gibbs. I've seen you a few times on Wick's show.
Awesome. But I just wanted to mention that where it's like games have been going down this trope, and also same with anime. There's a lot of anime. Like I'm gonna get so much flack when I say this. It is the same thing for anime like Free Ren, games like Helldivers. I feel like it just appeals to the very lowest common denominator of people. So many people are gonna hate me for that opinion, and I have gotten hate for that opinion on DevCord.
I don't think there's anything wrong with liking those games.
There isn't. It's just, I guess it all comes down to playstyle, but it has that fear of FOMO where a lot of games do it like where you have to own the chuds or own the libs. I was going to mention mixtape. You guys were trying to think of like Hello Kitty Islands Adventure or something. When it's like mixtape is one of those games that the libs are loving, even though when you look at it, it's like, dude, you could just win the game.
I don't think anyone's playing it.
I've
no, that's
never
the
heard
thing.
of this game.
Okay.
No, I know it just because Christina Tasty did a Twitter video showing a 3-minute scene of her putting the controller down and failing every QTE and nothing changed.
Mm-hmm.
She comes to my stream sometimes. We talk about wrestling. I like her.
Yeah, no, she's great. But basically,
Yeah.
it's a game, quote unquote. That's the game Carl was mentioning, but you didn't want to mention by name, of the Israeli pro-Israeli girl making it. Yes, I'm serious, by the way, when I say all this. This is not like me making up shit. But basically, It's a 3-hour movie, but as a game, where you hit start and you're supposed to navigate this girl's like last hurrah, where the ending result is arson is good if your dad is a police officer.
Well, that's just true.
Yeah, definitely. And
that's my strongest political stance, actually, is that if your dad's a police officer, you should be an arsonist.
Yeah, arsonist. But that was the game with when Carl mentioned like the mini game makeout scene. That's where it comes from.
The gross tongues. I saw a gif of.
I saw this makeout scene. How does this work?
No, you could just stand there, do nothing, and the game would still continue on. There is no mention of like, wow, that was awkward, because the kiss itself is awkward. Because the idea is that it's a bunch of teenagers having their last hurrah. You get drunk as a stoner, screwing with someone's Best Buy thing. And those are the types of games right now that I think just truly are muddying it, because they're being thrown money. It's meant to be this indie game, quote unquote indie, when the person is a multi-millionaire, has an entire license track of early 80s or late 80s songs, early 90s songs as the whole soundtrack, and it's mixtape. I see it in your eyes, you're like, what the hell am I talking?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I would never look. You couldn't pay me money to play this game. I mean, you could, but it'd have to be much more than.
It doesn't look like a fun time.
It doesn't sound fun.
I've seen some.
It isn't, and that's the thing where the other thing, it's 3 hours long, which this is my crackpot theory. It's to get around Steam's refund policy, because it's like 2 hours and then a week, I think, after.
How am I even playing 20 minutes of this game? I would probably refund it.
Exactly.
I don't know. Tell me,
not
look,
playing.
Here, buddy. What's your actual question for MahDryBread?
Oh, MahDryBread.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Would you do any more Pokemon challenges in newer generations?
Oh yeah, of course. That's always been the plan. Is just whenever I finish a game, whenever I finish a generation as a playthrough on the channel, it is now open for me to do challenges in it. So as soon as I'm done Ultra Moon and Journey, I'll be doing Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun and whatever as Pokemon challenges. And as for ROM hacks, yeah, I do ROM hacks on the show sometimes, not usually as challenges, but like I was doing Pokemon Fire Red Rocket Edition, which is fun. I'm going to go back to that. Same with Super Mario Mon was very fun. I'm going to go back to that as well.
Okay.
And of course, the Nuzlocke streams. I'm going to go back to doing the Nuzlocke streams as well. I just haven't for the last few weeks because I've been very, very busy between the World of Warcraft guild stuff, which was very time sensitive, and then also just my own work and life.
Yeah, obviously. Also, you could thank me for the guild itself being made, because I said, fuck it, I'll make an account on Carl's stream. And then Dev comes up and is like, hey, accept this. And I go, okay. I played for like till level 10, and I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Makes sense.
I don't know if I'm gonna get credit for in the video, but I'm the one who came up with the name for
what was the guild? What was the guild name?
So the guild name
was
Poning Every Noob in Sight. Now, it took a little while before anyone caught on. I think it was Carl who first announced it and blamed me for it. The acronym is penis.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right, well, that's all I wanted to say. My little soapbox and shit. But thanks. It was really cool talking to you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you later, Ben. Okay, $2 from Excelsior, or £2, I should say, to say Boogeyman equals Boogie2988. I don't think so. I
would much rather watch the Boogeyman.
Yeah. I saw the pictures of my.
Did you see the pictures?
Not the same.
Yeah, no. I gotta show you his entrance sometime. His real life entrance was fucking nuts,
I'll
man.
check it out. And that
legit eating worms. Legit worms pouring out of his mouth.
Yucky! I don't know why anyone would eat worms. I don't understand. Like, unless you have to or something.
Well, he's from the bottomless pit.
No, I get it. I get the shtick, but why didn't he use fake worms? Anyway,
because
£2
because you're up close. You're up close with the fans. They need to see it's real.
Okay,
wrestlers live and die for this shit.
You know what? Well, fair enough. Look, I'm not gonna yuck his yum. Excelsior for £2 more. Wait, Free Ren? What? I don't remember. Was Free Ren?
I think it was when he was saying friend slop. Maybe they misheard.
Oh, okay, maybe.
I don't know what Free Ren is. If that was
Free Ren's an anime.
What was going
I know
on.
what it is.
Oh, never mind. I misunderstood.
But friend slop, I don't know where free run was said in the conversation. Maybe I missed it though.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It could have just washed over me like a tide.
It's possible, you know.
What?
There's a lot of conversation going on.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let you have some final thoughts, some final words, and then we're gonna let you go because we don't keep you all night. And I know you got things to do. I got things to do. And but I do want to say,
I have a step count to meet.
Yes. Before I hand the mic off to you to close this out, I just want to say that I've enjoyed this conversation. It's much more wholesome than most of my content. And gang, if you didn't enjoy the conversation and you want the blood sports, that's next week. Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, me, Elder Drazi, and Stardust are going to be doing our rape review of Chud Logic and Queeman versus Dan Saltman and Destiny. So tune in to see how that went. I have some thoughts. It was fun to watch. And we're going to watch it again. I don't usually do React content, but we're making an exception, baby. Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have more serious content. And that's going to be a debate on court packing. And we're going to have Josiah from Pondering Politics, as well as Pisco from the Pisco's Hour, or Pisco's Hour. I forget exactly what his channel's name is. You know who Pisco is, okay? And they're going to be facing Dylan Esper and Counterpoints on court packing. So tune in 6 p.m. Tuesday. And then what else do we got that week? Wednesday is probably going to be call-ins. And then we'll do something Thursday. I think Gibbs wants me on his show Thursday, and we might do that. It's on gerrymandering. So check us out then. Okay. With that, MahDryBread, final thoughts for the class.
This was a very fun time. I would love to be back on whenever you want me back on. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be that good for a fucking panel on some kind of political thing. It's not that I don't have opinions. It's that I'm not particularly interested in some kind of fucking shouting match. That is, I do watch your show sometimes. And if it gets really shouty, I just fucking tune out.
I get it.
I don't have any time for that. I don't have patience for that. I want to hear what they're saying. Even if I don't like the person, I want to hear what they're saying. And if I legit can't hear what they're saying because some dickbag keeps fucking yelling over them and his name is Soy Pill, then I'm just not going to watch it.
Damn, okay. Shots fired. Clip it and ship it, gang. Tag him.
He knows he does it.
Tag him in the Twitters. Okay.
I agree with him on plenty of the things I've heard. I've watched him like 2-3 streams. I agreed with him on a lot of his points, and I was still like, fuck. What's wrong with you? Why do you go so aggressive? Why don't you shut up at all? Why do you not have a good faith response to the person you're talking to? Like he's given a slam dunk sometimes, and he's so busy being a pedantic asshole that he won't actually engage with what they're talking about. Why would you do that? Like I don't even disagree with you, and I think that you're being an asshole. But I'm sure he's heard everything I'm saying right now. I'm sure he's heard it before. I'm sure he's considered it before. And I'm sure it's just water off the duck's back because he's probably considered that and he doesn't want to and he doesn't need to listen to me. I don't hate him, but fucking stop doing that.
Fair enough. Okay, where can people find you if they want to find you?
Well, if you search MahDryBread, shouldn't have a hard time finding me because that name kind of stands out. I am on everything. I'm on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook and Steam and all the other. I have a Kick just so that I have the name reserved. I had a Blip TV when that used to be around. That's why you have never seen my my exam project, by the way, back in high school. It was on Blip TV, and that website does not exist anymore. So that is lost to time. It's on a DVD in someone's closet somewhere because that was printed on DVD. If you want to find, I'm sure my name is probably in the title of the stream.
It is. And
mouse over. In fact, there you go. Do you know about the thing where you can link people's YouTube channels in the title of the video?
Yeah, I think so. But
it's only been around for like a year. But if you do @ and the username in the title, a clickable link to their channel will be in the title. But yeah, in the description as well. If you want to find me on anything, you can find me on Twitter. I tweet about. I mostly tweet jokes. I'm just goofing off on Twitter. I tweet jokes. I don't really argue with people much, and I don't really talk about serious stuff very much on there. I got a Discord. that I'm in once in a blue moon, talking, reading. I don't know. I'm around. You can find me if
Check
you want to
him out.
find me.
You're a
I'm
good
open.
guy. We
I'm
need
easy to
more people
contact.
like you in this space, buddy. Even though, yeah, you're not a blood sports guy, but that's okay. Every once in a while, it's okay
No.
not to have a blood sports debate. I appreciate you, buddy, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, man? I'm gonna let you
It
go.
was very fun, Wick.
Always. Gang, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to fund me, you can. Throw me a super chat. Throw me some gift subs. Throw me some bits. All these things really help the channel. We got some great stuff coming up next week, and I hope you like it. On Twitch, thank you, Admiral Gibbs, for the raid. Gang, I'm probably going to go on his Thursday show about gerrymandering. Check that out. And, yeah, that's what I got for you guys. I guess I'll see you Monday, where we do the rape review. And we're going to watch Chud Logic break down. I wonder if he cried after that. I bet he did because, and I want to make this very clear, he's a pussy-ass bitch. Okay, thank you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.